Hello, everyone. Hello, all of you wonderful folks watching over us on the airwaves. It's not the airwaves; it's the internet, which is
Interwaves.
the interwaves, which is a series of tubes, is my understanding.
Is the interwaves.
The interwaves.
In your brain.
Yes. So hi everyone. This is Tales from the Foxhole, City of Light and Shadows, Season 2, Episode 2. It does not yet have a title. I will ask you all what you think by the time we get to the end. This is our French Resistance campaign with a brave and complicated set of agents who are based out of a jazz cabaret club in Montmartre in Paris. And it is 1941. And it is July the 22nd, which is a Tuesday. It's the evening of. And this is where we set our scene. But before we start, I thought that I would give you all a little bit of logistics before we introduce our folks. The first thing that I would note is this is run by Fate, this show, which is by Evil Hat Games. And Fate is an awesome system. And in this system, the players... they do their stuff, but it's very helpful for them to have fate points to survive. And, they don't have that many, but it is possible for you all who represent London to support them with fate points, and they can get up to 4. And I would like to say that all 4 have been claimed for this evening by Krellin. Thank you, Krellin. And these 4, you can see them just be dragged on the screen right now, represent fate points that they will have. However, there is another goal that you all can participate in. If you look at your extra credits spot, they need radios. Regina has been training a group of women, a group of 5 women, to learn how to do Morse code. And this is Regina's sewing circle, which is great. And they've been learning for the last 2 months. They've been doing really well. They do not, however, have radios. Radios are dangerous, expensive, and not available. So they need to get them from London. And there is a... do we have everybody in the right spot? You know what? We don't have it.
Is it a camera thing?
It is a camera thing.
Off?
Will you all turn off? If you don't mind, your cameras, thank you.
This is how magic works, y'all.
This is how magic works. And then can I get Greg, Stiver, Dot, and Fox?
Boom.
Are we in? Are we? It looks like we're not in. No, we're not in.
Okay, we'll try again. I think I'm second. I don't know why I feel that way.
I do it alphabetical. So Greg. Oh, it's weird. Today's strange. You know what? I'm just gonna move you on in my own special way. It'll be great.
That's fine.
Greg, and then Stiver, and then Dot, and then Fox.
Special way.
And I'm just gonna I'll just adjust them as I finish talking this. It'll be fine. So I was gonna say yes. So they need radios, and we have a special community goal to get the radios. And this community goal is 150,000 extra credit points for 5 radios. And you have a deadline. And the deadline is by the time episode 4 starts, which is a very special episode if you'd like to know it. In episode 4, so next week is episode 3, and it's going to be a solo episode with just Stiver and I. We're going to find out what how Tango's doing. We're going to just find out how he's doing.
He's going to have a therapy session.
We have a therapy session. It'll be good. And then the week after is going to be Regina and Sylvie and 2 special guests that you don't know. But I will tell you what, those special guests might have radios if you all can get them together.
Here's to hoping.
Is all I'm saying. So if you'd like, you can support with some extra credit points for those radios. There are other ways you can support this show. This show, I make sure that the cast is paid for because I emotionally distress them, and I feel like they should get paid for that emotional distress. And if you would like to support the paying of this cast, and also Frithiel, who does our art, and also in addition to that, Lizard Eats Flies, who did our music, then you can support over on Patreon. We have a Patreon which helps do that. You can also give tips and bits. And if you give tips and bits, I will read out your messages at the break and at the end of the show. I think that is all of the logistics that I want to share in terms of that sorts of business. So let's introduce our cast. I would like each person, we're going to go around to introduce themselves and tell us who you are, and tell us where we can find you. Tell us who you're playing, and then I would like you to answer a question. Greg, you've not got to experience my questions yet, but now you do. It'll be exciting. I would like you to answer one thing that your character fears, but they have not told anyone about. Something your character fears or has anxiety over, but they have not told anyone. So who you are, where we can find you, who you're playing, and that character of yours, tell me something they fear they have not told anyone about. And let's start at the top. With Greg, because you're new, so you should answer the hard questions right away.
Sure. I'm Greg. I'll be playing Oscar Mueller, I guess formerly of the German military, and something that he is scared of that he hasn't had a chance to tell anybody, other than fleeing the full power of the Third Reich. It would be in the village where he grew up. There was a very steep hill that actually has kind of a lift to get to the top of it. And at the very top, there's a chapel that's kind of perched on top of this hill. People would go there, not as like a pilgrimage per se, but it was kind of a hot spot for weddings and things of that nature. And he didn't realize until he was taken up there with some of the other children and his uncle that he was deathly afraid of heights. And so when he got up there, he realized that he did not want to be there anymore.
That is fair. That is fair.
And also since that time, he's tried everything he can to get over it. That's why in last episode, he was on the roof or on a balcony, staring out at the city, trying to get over it, but it doesn't work. He tortures himself. Back to you, Trooper.
All right. So Stiver, who are you? Where can we find you? Who are you playing? And tell me something that Tango is afraid of that he has not told anyone.
Well, my name is Stiver. You can find me all things social media with the @HolyStiver thingy-babobber handle. Let's see. Oh, and Tango is kind of how you'd think the name sounds. He's kind of this I don't know if he's actually suave, but he really thinks he's suave. He's kind of this suave, brash American who just kind of who works in the black market of things, and he just likes to weasel around and lie to everybody, but in a good way, as a kind heart, right? Gosh, what is Tango afraid of?
That you've not told anyone.
Losing his banana shirt.
That's already happened.
Well, I want to say it's the loss of something. Yeah, you know what? I think that what is he most afraid of? I think he is most afraid of that he hasn't told anybody. He's afraid of his actions getting back to maybe his mother in some way, some of the connections he's made, all those underhanded things he's done. And even though he keeps going down that rabbit hole, he's definitely afraid that somehow they're going to find his family. And the only family he truly has left is his mother.
May I ask you a follow-up question?
No. Okay,
please.
no, go for it. Yeah, go
Um,
for it.
you don't want your mother to find out what you're doing.
No, I don't want. He doesn't want his mother to find out what he's doing. He doesn't want his resources to find out about his mother. That's why Tango
Mhm.
is such a tried and true name for him.
Um, now, does that mean that you're not proud of what you're doing?
Hmm. I think that's one of those torn things. I think that he's not good at anything else. I
Hmm.
don't think he's not especially great at, like, I don't know, baseball. He's not, he wasn't the brightest student. He
Hmm.
wasn't really good at, I don't know, puzzles or like anything you put him in front of, he wasn't very good at. But what he's really good at is whatever this is, this kind of lying slash selling goods
Hmm.
slash kind of secret agent lifestyle. He's super good at it, and it's the only thing he can't tell his mother he's really good at. You
Oh,
know?
oh.
So
Aw. At the moment you're doing good work for the resistance.
mm-hmm. Can't tell anybody about it.
Well, that's true.
The only thing he's good at, he has to keep a secret.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. But I love it as a GM. Just gonna take that as a GM. So tell me, please, if you don't mind, Little Red Dot, who are you? Where we can find you? Who are you playing? And tell me something that Regina is afraid of that she's never told anyone.
Hey, y'all. I'm Little Red Dot. You can find me just about anywhere as Little Red Dot. I'm a GM and a Twitch streamer, and I like to tell stories a lot. That's why I'm here with these incredible people. And I'm back with our, I was going to say our resident German, but now we have 2 Germans.
Mm-hmm.
So she's not the only one, but our deflected German who kind of left Germany and is here trying to bring some honor back to her country and take it back from what she believes to be a disease that's taking it over, known as Nazis. And she'll pretty much do that by any means necessary.
She will.
She will.
She knows that.
She's affected. She's affected. She fears. I think right now, her like initial husband is like gone.
Yeah.
Right. He died. Dad's dead. Oops.
How did he die? I forgot. I mean, some people might have watched last season.
Should I spoiler that?
Yes. You should.
Regina killed him. What? Oops. He just happened to be making some, I don't know, some gas that was supposed to kill some people, and so Regina decided his time was up. So she had a date, and it ended in killing her own father.
Yeah.
Falker's not around anymore, so she doesn't have a lot to fear, but there is one person from her past that she got some serious tea with, and that's her first lover.
Yeah.
I think she fears that she is still out there, and could come back into the fold at any moment.
What is her name?
Yes, I has this.
Because I've been waiting to ask you for some time.
I have this. I wrote it down. I feel like I wrote it down.
Because you've never told me.
I haven't, but I did write it down. I swear. It was a great name for her. Oh, maybe I put it on my character sheet. You guys think I was that smart last week when I was thinking about
maybe.
Let
I
us
thought
find
Regina's
out.
fear was going to be running out of people to kill.
Well, so far so good on that.
Like,
maybe
what if
when the
war
Nazis
stops?
if the Nazis start running thin,
She'll be feeling good.
it'll be okay. I swear I wrote this down. Look, I will find it for you. She
All
does
right.
have a name, and I just can't remember off the top of my head what it was. Oh, no, I do. Nadia Grun. Right there, I wrote it down. Nadia.
Thank you. Now, what's interesting about Nadia Grun is that she was really good at being a Nazi.
A lot of things.
She was really good at being a Nazi. So, who knows? I mean, it would be weird right? If she showed up, that would be so strange.
You know what's funny? I feel deja vu because you said that about
Did
my
I?
father. When I
Oh.
revealed his presence in
Oh,
one
yeah.
of these questions last season.
Oh, weird. Huh.
Whoops.
And here that tone comes again.
Whoops. Oh, Trooper.
Rocket, who are you? What do you do? Where can we find you? Who are you playing? And then tell me something that your character is afraid of but has not shared with anyone.
Hello, everyone. I am Rocket Fox, and you can find me. If you look up Rocket Fox anywhere, you will likely come across me. I am a storyteller, artist, stream person, and you can find me on Twitch, Instagram, other dark hidden corners of the web, but not too dark. We haven't gotten into that space just yet. But I am playing Sylvie, who is a jazz singer. She is the owner of Bricktops, which is the lovely and oh so up and not shady at all, with no secrets establishment out of which we are working. But yeah, she has words that she is not afraid to say, whether that's good or bad. And what is she afraid of that she doesn't tell anyone? It's a little bit of a twofold answer, in that she is really afraid. This may come as a shock to people, but she's a little vain. And I know.
I'm surprised.
I know. It's one of those things, but
You're not supposed to give everything away, Rocket, in this intro.
I know. It's crazy. This is only the second episode of season 2. But she really does not like mirrors at night. Mirrors at night because of ghosts. She is really afraid of ghosts.
She's superstitious.
Yeah, she's real superstitious. She just like she doesn't really, it's not something she talks about a lot at all ever with anybody, but like she just does, like she takes it very seriously. And she's not.
Could I ask you a follow-up question?
You may. I feel like it's going to happen.
Many places are quite haunted or have reputations for being haunted. I know that New Orleans is a place that is known to have many ghosts. And I do know that Sylvie is a St. Louis woman. And are there any particularly interesting ghost stories from your hometown?
So many. So many. St. Louis is actually known to be a fairly haunted place as well, as it turns out. And she doesn't come by this fear out of nothing. She may or may not have had an experience or two when she was younger, in her formative years. And, blatant racism was not the only reason why she noped on out of there. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out.
Also the murder.
Hey, listen. Like, what is a murder or two between friends?
Regina asks herself this every day.
Right?
Right.
Now, I have one more thing to say before we start. And that is, I would like to let you know. Would you be prepared to put a link in chat, Fox?
I would.
Thank you. I am currently not wearing a button-down shirt, which is what I normally wear when I'm GMing this show because it's the 40s. I'm actually wearing the Season 1 t-shirt, the Season 1 City of Light and Shadow t-shirt designed by our very own Rocket Fox. Bricktops, right? You've got Team Order and Team Chaos. And we've got them here. And I just wanted to let you know that these are amazing. And Season 1 regalia can be gotten over at Rocket Fox's place.
I have a feeling Team Order is now double Nazi time, or double German time.
Yeah.
We have 2 Germans on Team Order now.
Or for season 2, the next shirt needs to be Team Kill and Team the Arts and Team Chaos. I'm just throwing out some ideas.
It's true.
And I will throw
Our
a link
team
in
kill
chat.
order. It's just a kill order.
Just
Just
kill order. I love it. No, I'll throw a link up in chat if anybody's interested. But then also just as an aside, from everything that I've pulled in from this, I also throw back to Trooper to come back to the cast as well, and just like production stuff. So
Me? Oh,
that's you. I sent you that before for the first season.
what? You know, it's true. And I'm troopersjp, and I am facilitating this madness. And all I do is I take notes about the things that make them really afraid, and I'm like, interesting for later, for no reason. I mean, for no reason. For no reason.
Want to say it one more time to convince us, Trooper?
No, I want to say it one more time to make you more nervous. Actually, actually, you know, you just say it a couple times to make them more and more nervous. I find that works very well. So we started the season opener was a bit of a bang where we sort of went through a 2 months from May when we had season 1 and July 22nd, which was when we started. July the 22nd, a Tuesday. And in this time, we got to see what our characters have been doing in this time period. Regina had been training this group of 5 women on how to do Morse code. And the reason why, of course, is because Morse code operators, wireless operators, during the time of the Resistance had a life expectancy of about 2 to 3 months before they would be caught and then killed by the Nazis, because unlike everybody else, they're broadcasting signals out into the world, and that is...
Which means we can be found.
Which means you can be found. And the Nazis have these detector vans which drive around the city, hoping to sort of triangulate and get people's location. If they can get you, they will. Here's the other thing. It's really hard to talk your way out of having a radio. So if they catch you with a radio, you're in trouble. And a number of the radio operators had been caught by Colonel Falke, who was the head of military intelligence, and the team learned about it, and they learned that basically there was a real lack of radio operators in Paris. And so Regina's been the only one, and that means she's a lot more to broadcast, which means it's much more dangerous for her. And she has been working really hard to train new radio operators from people who are seamstresses and embroiderers and people who have that kind of touch and skill. And she's been doing a good job at training them, but they have no radios, and she's been up to that. Also, she asked her doctor...
It was necessity
right?
For her safety.
Right.
That's why.
Her doctor friend, Hannah Roth, to move in with her in her basement hideout, because it's really not great to be Jewish at this moment in Paris. And we have Sylvie, who's been sort of running the show, keeping her ear to the ground, seeing, like, kind of just gathering gossip of the space, sort of figuring out what's, using her contacts to sort of see what's going on, and she's been doing that. Tango has been making contacts in the black market, seeing what's moving and what's not moving. He has found out that Germany invaded the Soviet Union. Surprise. And so now all of the communists are not having it. And there's been a lot of reports about communists sort of getting arms from the black market. And there have been reports of resistance activities from communist cells, including some assassinations and then retribution from the Germans, of course. And Oscar, who is a new member of sort of a German soldier who was brand new to Paris, was going to go and sort of work as a city guard, as it were, like a patrolman, but instead was sort of picked up by the Gestapo and was made to be a guard in the Gestapo headquarters while they were torturing a young woman named Jeannette. And Jeannette is an 18-year-old woman who last season was having an affair with the head of German military intelligence. She was a collaborator. She was young, she was poor, she wanted to be something more than she was, and so she was dating somebody really important, somebody that our team killed. And they then framed her for that murder. And she was then tortured for the last 2.5, 3 months. And our Oscar decided he didn't like being forced to watch this, and he also decided he didn't really want to participate when he was asked to, and so rather than torturing her when he was asked to torture her, he murdered the interrogator and got her out of there and took her to the only place he knew to bring her, and that is Bricktops. And that, in this moment where we start, we have Dr. Hannah Roth in the secret back room in the basement of this club with our sort of injured Jeannette, alongside the rest of the group, except for Luke, the young barback, also juvenile delinquent, and Sylvie, the owner of this bar, who has just met their new handler. They did some lies at the end of last season where they said that they were double agents and that they were actually secretly working for German military intelligence. And so could they get Sylvie back from interrogation, please? And it is now 2 months later, and German military intelligence has now gotten themselves back together and sort of reorganized. And they sent over someone, a woman whose code name is Colette, to meet with Sylvie to give them their assignments. Since they're double agents, they have work to do for the Nazis. And the main work they have to do is figure out who stole a canister of this secret gas, somebody who was clearly connected to the German military, so they figured these outsiders might be able to figure it out. But she also had she had 3 side assignments, and that was, she would like to figure out who killed Falke before the Gestapo does. She would like to find out who killed the Arctic Wolf, a very important Gestapo agent, before the Gestapo does. And the third thing that she wanted was, she wanted some resistance members. She wanted to find, they need to look good. The military intelligence does not have a lot of wins at the moment, and they would like some wins. So that's what they have been tasked with. And we begin where we ended. At this moment, Colette has left. Sylvie is upstairs in the empty bar. The bar has closed. The curfew has begun. And she is upstairs with the rest of the group downstairs. And that is where we start.
Well, I will go downstairs. Which, I sent Charlie home, correct?
Mm-hmm. And Luke follows you. Luke, Luke is a 16-year-old young French lad, he's like sort of well built enough, but well built enough. He looks like he gets a little bit more food than maybe some people do because he has some connections. But again, it's not like people are getting a lot of food at this point in time. And he's sort of dressed. He's actually dressed somewhat nicely. He's got as nice as he can. He's got like a white button-down shirt that he probably got from the costumes downstairs, and a pair of black pants, and he's got a bow tie and a little vest, and he's sort of dressed, sort of nice as if
smartly.
Yes, he's dressed quite smartly.
Well, I will tell him, Luke, you have done a wonderful job tonight. You can go ahead and go home.
Miss Moreau?
Yes. Well, what's troubling you? Your face looks cross. I don't like it.
That woman said that you worked for her.
Child, you can't believe everything that people say. Now, listen. Do you trust me?
She was a Nazi.
Do you trust Regina?
Yes.
Good. Trust that we are doing what needs to be done to get things out of the city that needs to be gotten out.
What kind of things are you doing?
Things that, if you want to keep that smart head of yours on your shoulders, you don't need to know about. Now, why don't you run home, and I will see you tomorrow at opening, yes?
Okay.
Now stay safe. Eyes everywhere, right? All right. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Okay. And he heads out the back door as he walks you towards the, there's the bar itself. If you can imagine, there's a front door, and when you walk in the front door, you are sort of confronted with a very large open space with a stage on your right, and on your left is the bar. In the center, there's a bunch of tables, and then like a dance space. And on the back wall, there's a set of curtains that if you go through those curtains, you're sort of brought in. There's like a backstage on the far right behind the actual stage, but on the left, on the back wall, when you walk in, you go through these curtains, and there is a landing, sort of a hallway where there's like a sink and some things up there, kind of a kitchenette, but then there's a door to the back alley, and then there's a stairwell downstairs which will take you to the basement, the cellar, where there's a bunch of costumes and all of that, but also a cabinet, a wardrobe that if you pull back aside, there's a secret door, a secret room. And so he walks you, behind that curtain to that door, and he leaves the door, leaving you at the top of the stairwell.
I kind of hover for a minute to make sure once I see that he's kind of gone away, I'll go ahead and close the door, and then I'll go down. And I'm assuming everyone's in the secret room.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I'll say aloud, I'm assuming everyone is in the secret room.
I slide the wall back.
Ah, wonderful. Well, I've just had an interesting late night guest.
Can we get out of the secret room now?
You may.
Okay.
Seems like it would be crowded back there.
It's a little crowded.
Before you do, I'm going to make 3 rolls.
It's so crowded in here.
3 rolls. These rolls belong to Hannah Roth, and these are the rolls she needs to make to try to help save Jeannette, who is looking quite bad. These are recovery rolls. So fate characters have stress, which they can recover if they relax or do things, but they have consequences, and they have 3 of them. One worth 2, one worth 4, one worth 6. And these consequences are the things that happen to you when bad things happen to you. And if you run out of stress and consequences, you are taken out. Or you can concede first before that happens. And in order to recover from those consequences, and it takes time to do so, you need someone to minister you. And as these are physical consequences, you need somebody with medicine, and that will be our Dr. Hannah Roth, who has great skill in medicine. So she needs to roll a 2 for these sort of superficial wounds on Jeannette.
Trooper, can I help and assist in any way?
You can, but you can wait until after I roll to see if you need it. The first one she works on. This is like these are like a lot of like she's able to sort of patch up the bleeding. There's gonna be a lot of bruising, but this will sort of clear up in a couple of days. But now she's got some more serious wounds. She's got some broken ribs. She's super dehydrated. She's doing very poorly. I'm gonna need to roll a 4 to recover for this one. She rolls a 1. She's down by 3. If people want to help, this is when you would do it.
Yeah.
What would we have to have medical to help?
Does somebody here have medicine?
I don't think so. This is why she's here. I could just roll a mediocre medic.
Who would, you actually need the skill to just give a bonus.
To give the bonus.
Yep, but does somebody have an aspect that might help her heal someone?
What about empathy? Nothing helps more than a kind heart.
No. That won't help with medical.
Yeah, all I got is my friends in my world, but that's a bunch of Tinkerbell stuff.
I see all the angles.
You do?
Is there an angle that I could see to like be like, oh, we missed something, or like she's got some internal bleeding that wasn't picked up on? I'm not really a medic, so that's hard, but like,
If you did, that would take you to a three, which is one lower than she needs.
I could roll mediocre medical.
You actually need the skill.
you have to have the skill of one of those.
You could give me a fate point if you like, to invoke one of her aspects.
Oh, I see.
So you could invoke her aspect to, because she is.
Could we just not give her the fate point to reroll?
You could do that. Yeah.
Because like it would take 2 fate points just to get her above 4, where she probably has a higher likelihood of the reroll being successful.
Yes. All right. So you give up one of your group fate points to. By the way, we're going to get new overlays pretty soon. I'm very excited about this, so that you and the audience will be able to see how many group fate points they have on our overlay, and so that's very exciting. I'm just waiting for the art to come in. So let's do this reroll, and we're going to be using her high concept, which is that she is a very ingenious doctor, and she
So ingenious. So ingenious.
Yes.
That's what I like to see.
There is one last. So now this problem of hers, it'll take her some time to recover for this. There is one last consequence, but this consequence, our good doctor cannot roll for.
What is it?
This is not a physical consequence. This is a mental consequence.
Would empathy help out with that?
It would.
Hey.
It's a difficulty of a 6.
I have a 3. Anybody want to jump in on this with me?
You can
you probably could make the roll.
I have
You
a
could
fair
make it.
empathy.
So
Well,
you can
let
get a
me try.
You can get a +1 from Tango,
All right, let me
So I have
try
a
this
fair
first.
empathy.
and you can get a +1 from Hannah, because she also has empathy, clearly. But tell me. So she's laying there, and you have Hannah, who's sort of giving her fluids, who's checking on her, and Jeannette is laying on this sort of cot, just lightly and very hoarsely humming the St. Louis blues.
Oh.
And she seems not to be particularly present in a certain way, but she sees Oscar. Well, she doesn't seem to be seeing very well at all. But if Oscar's anywhere near her, she would kind of grab Oscar's anything, like shirt, clothing, hand.
Can I spend? I have 1. Can I spend my fate point to help here? I can either invoke empathy above orders, which I've changed to empathy above all since.
Yeah.
I don't have orders anymore.
Yeah.
Or I could even do the show must go on.
So let's have that roll, but I want to see how you talk to her first, our Sylvie.
Yes, so I'm going, once everyone clears out of the room, because
They need to be there if they're going to help.
then no one better clear out of this room.
I was about to say, I clear out of the room because I have no empathy. I have nothing to offer in this moment.
This
You
is fair.
get out of here. I don't want to see your face right now.
I'm gonna just piece it. I'm gonna take a step back from being in the mess.
Yeah, in the background, I'm just doing that movie moment of, my God, I hope everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, you go ahead and clear out too. You just make some space.
I grab him by the collar and kind of like,
But I'm gonna go in first. I'm gonna see Hannah, my dear. What's the status here? What's going on?
And she looks at you with a kind of a serious look, but she doesn't say anything out loud where someone might hear it. And she just says,
I see. Well, she doesn't have to say anything. If she doesn't say anything, I've knew her before. I know what's up. That good, huh? Well, is she? So I'm gonna get down closer because I can hear that she very lightly is singing. So I'm gonna kind of get down near her level, and I'm gonna go ahead and kind of take her hand and like kind of be petting her forehead. And actually, does Hannah have like a? I assume is she feverish or anything? Is she? Does she have like? Does she need to be like her temperature regulated?
When you see her, her lips are cracked, and they are sort of raw and bleeding slightly. She's very thin. Her fingers are broken and they've been wrapped. She is thin, frail. She's still wearing the dress that you remember seeing her in at that party that you were all at when you framed her for the murder, when you set her up to be framed for the murder.
I hear your words.
Just noting it.
You don't have to keep saying that, Trooper.
I just feel like the audience may not know that you framed her for the murder, and that's why
definitely guilt. This is half the reason why Regina can't be in the room right now. The guilt.
So if I imagine that
and her hair
Hannah
is
has,
brittle. Her sort of beautiful
I
hair is
imagine
brittle.
that Hannah has several kind of medical things said about. If she has just like a bowl with water and a little rag in there, I'm going to take it and kind of like dab it on her mouth, just to kind of get some moisture on there, and then I'm going to kind of like pat it on her face, and then kind of just kind of lean down, I guess, as I'm doing this. Jeannette, can you hear me?
And she turns her head to you, and you can see that her eyes are not seeing you.
Well, as soon as she turns her head, there's my girl.
She goes, I was, they did.
Shh, I know. You don't have to talk about it. You're here now, though. We have you at the bar. Nobody's gonna do anything like that to you ever again. Were you singing just now? I think I heard you singing something. Sounded beautiful.
I don't. Why? Why me? Why me?
I think you should get some rest.
Why me? Why'd they do this to me? And then she gets very quiet for a moment. And then she says, I saw him.
Who did you see?
And she's sort of like, she moves her head as if she's going to look around, but you can also see that her eyes are not, she's clearly blind at this point in time. She may recover her sight, but it has not been a good time for her. And she just sort of like moves her head as if she's looking around, and she's clearly seeing something. I went in to see him. We were to meet, and there was blood everywhere. And I ran to him, and his head was, there was,
Sylvie's gonna start just like patting her face and kind of like dabbing her mouth a little bit to kind of like get her to relax a little bit. This is not a good time to be going back through that sort of emotional experience. Hannah, do you have anything that might help ease her emotionally right now?
and I goes,
Is Oscar close enough to hear this?
Yes. Oscar's there in the room, and she seems to be comforted when you are closer. May I ask, do you wear a cologne of any sort?
Oscar would not, no.
Aftershave?
He would, however, wear a bit of juniper, just a sprig, but that's just to remind him of home.
And she can smell you. And when you are close enough that she can smell you, she seems a little bit calmer. And of course, if you're that close, you can hear all of this conversation.
What he would do then is as soon as she would start to or as soon as the call would go out for, the doctor to administrate, he is going to kneel down and lightly put his hand kind of right on her diaphragm where she would be breathing. And he would get as close as he could without getting in the way of everyone to her ear. And he would, let us sing a song. And he would hum a few bars of the song and then say, it's your turn now.
And with your hand on her diaphragm and hearing the song a little bit, she pulls herself away from the image of her boyfriend Falke with half of his head blown off and foam coming out of his mouth from poison. And she begins to sing the song a little bit. Saint Louis woman with her store-bought hair.
There you go. That sounds so good.
I've got the St. Louis blues, just as blue as I can be.
There, that's so nice.
Why? I'm going to need an empathy roll from one of you all here.
I have a 3. I can go ahead and roll. Let's
Do you
see.
have empathy, my dearest Oscar, as a skill?
I have empathy above all.
Do you have the
above
skill,
orders.
empathy?
I do not have the skill.
But Tango does. Tango, how do you support this moment? She's clearly in a moment where she's not well.
Yeah, because I
psychologically.
think
Hang on, I need some support.
I think Rahina was gonna try to bring me out of the room, and I kind of stop at that point. But like, don't you worry, don't worry. I think I can help. And I think for me, it's putting a hand, like coming in between Sylvie and Oscar, and I think I might actually know this song. Like, you know. How about if I pick up where she can't right now? And I don't know the song, me personally, James Stiver, but it's like, but he just kind of hums it.
Yeah. Okay, let's have the roll.
And he's just going to put his hands on the backs of everyone, just kind of, come on, we all got this together. Even though I barely know you, Oscar.
You need a 6.
Okay.
Did I roll?
That's a 4.
I
You get a
rolled.
+1 from Stiver, but that's 1 less than you need.
I believe also that I got help from our dear Oscar as well, though. Did I not?
Oscar does not have the skill.
He doesn't have the skill.
But you said
But
that
you
Hannah
get it
was
from
there.
Hannah. Again, she
Yeah.
has
Right.
empathy, which is a 6, which is what you need.
Oh, my goodness.
And as you are there sort of telling her that she sings beautiful, which is all that she really wanted ever for people to think about her, that maybe she could sing beautifully. And when she can't anymore because her throat is raw, Tango comes in and finishes the line, and her breathing becomes a little bit more calm. And Hannah sort of moves in and just gives her a little bit of morphine. And she calms down and she begins to drift off to sleep. And Hannah looks up at the group and says, she has been through a lot. It's not good. She will recover, I think. At least physically. But I don't think it would be good for her to stay here in Paris. She should
We need to
recover.
Yeah. We need to figure out, how long do you think it'd take for her to recover enough to get her on her feet?
Perhaps a day or so. She could be moved out, I think. I know I have friends in the countryside where she could convalesce.
We need to do that immediately.
Sooner the better, I think.
The sooner the better. The less she has contact with everything going on right now, the better.
The rest of you, join me upstairs. We have some talking to do.
Yeah, hold on just a second. I'm gonna look around. Where did look for Rahina?
She's gone. You turn back, she's gone.
She
Gone.
is upstairs, perhaps?
I
Because
would
you don't
think
know
in the
if she's
back
new.
alleyway having a smoke, probably.
Mhm.
Then I'd go find her. I was like Sylvia, I'll get her. We'll have a chat. Everybody,
Thank you.
you too, Oscar. You're a part of this too now. Get up there.
Jawohl.
Jawohl. I just want a shirt that says that. Just
Yeah.
the Oscar. It just says
Jawohl.
that.
And Oscar and Sylvie make their way upstairs while Hannah stays down with Jeannette to keep her calm. It will be months before she recovers, but she will probably be good enough in maybe 2 days or so to be moved. But as Oscar and Sylvie move upstairs, middle of the night, Tango, you come out into the alleyway behind the bar, and you see Regina. Could you describe what Regina's doing and what does he see?
She's sitting on a trash can smoking a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
Indian style.
Mm-hmm.
So when Tango sees this, he's gonna take out the pack of cigarettes that's rolled up on his sleeve. He's gonna put one in, light it with like a. Imagine he would have a Zippo,
Yeah.
a fun Zippo that actually has the
Banana.
a banana on it,
Yeah.
etched in on the Zippo. And he's gonna inhale and exhale out some smoke. He's gonna come right up to the trash can and sit Indian style on the ground next to her. What's going through your head, kid?
Nothing.
Just out for some fresh air. He's going to wave the cigarette in front of her face.
It was crowded tonight.
So it was. Before we go back in, why don't you tell me what's wrong?
There is nothing wrong.
Okay. All right, nothing wrong. I believe that.
She wasn't supposed to survive.
And yet she did. Now, you feel nothing, right?
Yes?
Well, then I'll pick up the slack and feel what you should feel. How about that?
I feel sometimes
Yeah.
guilt. I think it's guilt.
Well, a little guilt is good for your soul. Keeps you sane.
Says who?
Because if you don't feel guilt, then he's just going to wave the cigarette out. Then you're just going to be one of them Nazis. You know, real Nazis.
Are you
They
calling
don't
me
feel
Nazi
guilt.
Tango?
No. I'm not, because I don't think you actually... I don't think you've actually extracted that part of your soul out yet.
Yet.
How are
How
you
am
and
I
Hannah?
Fine.
By the way.
It's fine. Everything is fine.
Okay. Just making sure you're feeling something tonight.
I'm feeling a lot of things, I guess, in honesty. They seized Hannah's bank accounts and have begun to take inventory of Jewish property in the city. She's in danger, Tango.
What are we going to do about it?
I don't know yet.
Well, I know that we're going to do something, especially for Hannah. We can't do something for everybody, but we're going to do something. Jeannette, she's going to be up and at 'em in a few days, and she's going to be out of our hair. We're going to move her along somewhere where she can figure out her life moving forward. But we got business to take care of now, right?
Of course.
Okay. Just want you to know, and I know this isn't your thing, and I know it's weird coming from me, but if you ever need to talk, I'm around.
Okay, fine.
Or just a sandwich. And if you just want to get drunk and smoke cigarettes and not say anything about our feelings, it's also great.
Okay, that sounds better.
Yeah, I make a mean sandwich. Come on, kid, let's go.
Don't call me kid. I say under my breath as I get off. It's in that moment where I just want to karate chop you in the neck, like.
Meanwhile, in the other side of the bar, while that conversation was taking place, Oscar and Sylvie are back up in the main part of the club. And the club is dark. The lights are low. Everyone has left. It's just you two, and you know that out in probably in the alley somewhere, Tango and Regina are probably talking. But you two, who've never really met each other before, are here in this moment.
Sylvie leans on the bar, and I mean, she doesn't ever not have a glass of something in her hand. So who are you?
My name is Oscar. This is a lovely place. Is this yours?
Yes, it is mine. So, Oscar.
Yes.
Let me rephrase that. Who are you?
I suppose I was confused by your tense. I was a member of the German army.
And now?
Now I am Oscar.
Interesting. What are you doing here, Oscar? What brought you to my humble bar?
It's the smallest of things, a box of matches. And the promise of friendships that was not based on me being a German. Perhaps it was, I do not know.
Why did you bring the girl here?
I had nowhere else to take her. And
Why did you take her anywhere?
because
Oscar, let me be frank with you. I spent some time as a guest of the Gestapo. I know how these things go. One does not simply walk out. Well, most times one does not simply walk out with Gestapo guests. And yet here you show up with someone that they've had in their company for quite some time now. That's a little strange to me.
again, if I just walked out, that would be very strange, but I cut my way out.
And you see on his... you changed your shirt.
Again, Chris Evans
Yep.
looking black undershirt that is painted on, said Chris Evans.
But, Sylvie, There's blood on his shoes.
Don't listen. If this description I'm hearing is the description that I'm hearing, don't think she hasn't looked him up and down.
I'm just.
Sylvie is Sylvie, please.
I saw it in chat earlier. So
Once thirsty, always thirsty.
But there is
The girl's never satiated, but anyway.
but his there's blood on his shoes.
So am I then to assume that's not your blood on your shoes?
that assumption is correct. May I ask you a question now?
That doesn't mean I'll answer it, but anyone can ask me anything.
Are you going to turn me in?
To who?
Whoever you see fit.
I don't know what kind of establishment you think this is, but that offends me. I require an apology. In fact, you seem relatively tall. Go grab me a bottle from up there on top of the bar.
He would go over and grab a bottle, but when he would turn around, he would say to her from behind the bar, I was proving a point. That reaction is why I came here. At least why I hoped I came here.
Oscar, who once was with the German army, who no longer is with the German army, tell me this.
Sure.
What is it that you plan to do now that you're here? And by here, I don't mean in the four walls of this establishment, but here in Paris, in France, in the region, in the war, in the conflict, in this land. What are you doing here?
And that's when our two others walk in, because that conversation was not that long over there. They walk in and they hear Sylvie ask this question.
It is many questions that you just asked.
I'm a complicated woman.
I am a simple man. I do not know. This is, I wasn't planning to give up my position in the military.
Oscar, you look strong. How much can you carry?
Are you talking in pounds or in kilograms or in guilt?
Both.
I pour
lot.
myself a drink at the word guilt.
Oscar, what's your favorite sandwich? This is an important question.
This is interrogation now. This is this bratwurst.
You're avoiding a question. What kind of sandwich?
Sylvie's gonna turn to Tango. He's tricky. I like him. Oscar, you're hired.
Wait, like him because I'm not going to worry about it. No, it's fine.
Listen,
It's cool.
Darling, unless you were interested in more additions into the bedroom, I'm fine with that. But
Well, how much can he carry? Did you ask him that?
Oh,
Very
Regina
good.
takes a
Very good.
shot when they start talking about Sylvie in the bedroom. And she takes
Anyway.
another.
Oscar, we're short a door person. You're hired. Anyway, she if he's going to speak more, she turns to everyone else and she starts ignoring him at this point. So, my lovely crew. As it turns out, I had a late night visitor. A woman who decided to call herself Colette. She's not French. I'll give you that much to start. As it turns out, the Germans had a gas canister stolen.
What?
This is so
What is-
shocking.
This
I make
is
eyes
crazy.
at Oscar that's like, welcome to the fold.
I, for one,
Does Oscar know we're part of, you know
I'm
what?
so shocked that I can't even bear to even think about the ramifications. Why this canister could be anywhere.
Sylvie, hold on just a second. Oscar, what do you think is going on right here, right now? Who do you think we are right now?
Oh my God.
Oscar,
Pour
who,
me another drink and answer that question.
he would absently, not even like half looking at the glass, be like kind of blind pouring. But he would spare. Oscar has no poker face, as we established in episode 1. So he would literally glance at Regina and then look back at everyone else. I assume that you are, from conversation that I heard, you are working for German military intelligence.
I pour another drink and I take them. I sit down. And probably in German. I speak to Oscar and I simply say, that is our secondary cover, yes.
It's rude to speak in languages that not everyone speaks. Sylvie says this in English.
I'll switch back. We are part of a resistance against the current invasion of this city.
Oscar, I will slit your throat right here, right now. You had better be under my employment, and you had better not be trying to pull any stunts. Are you pulling a stunt right now? I will have Regina cut you.
And what kind of sandwich? You never said.
This is the bratwurst on rye. We just mustard. That's it. It's not complicated.
Well, that's not a bad sandwich. I don't think we have any rye though.
You don't have any. Well, no, I guess I am running.
I was just making everyone a late night sandwich, and I just thought I'd ask.
When I left Germany,
Danke, but yes.
much like you, we served in different ways. I came here running from all of that. We all came here, found this place, running from all of that.
I to believe that you are now working against your country?
Some would say. Others would say for it.
What would you say?
I would say my country bleeds, as all countries in Europe currently bleed, from an infection known as the Nazis.
Are you a doctor or an executioner?
Says the man with the blood on his shoes.
I'm just a soldier. Who was?
I was a chemist. And a good shot. But you know that, don't you, Oscar?
Perhaps.
I know you. I've seen you. You gave a good performance. Very good performance. And I also saw you turn down the book that they ask you to throw into a pyre to burn. So I know that you are on level. Due to unforeseen circumstances over the last few months, we have fallen into a new cover. I kind of look over at the two of them like, are we ready to tell him the truth?
He's got to know.
Falca was...
Maybe not that one.
timely demise led to some difficulties with our party.
The head of German intelligence?
Yes. That is Falca, or was.
Yeah.
In the midst of that, we found ourselves in a opportune position to allow Gestapo and German military to believe that we were working with Falca, not against him. Considering the fact...
I find this hard to believe.
Why is that? You took a girl from Gestapo headquarters tonight. Why is it so hard to believe that we cannot pull the wool over their eyes?
Not too long ago, Oscar, we pulled Sylvie from Gestapo, doing the same thing. Lying.
You are. This is true, then you are excellent at your craft.
The same could be said for you.
He looks down at his shoes. Messy is what I am.
There's nothing wrong with a little mess, as long as you know how to clean it up. I toss him a rag to wipe his boots off. We are cleaning up a mess currently. And I turn at this point over to Sylvie, which is why I assume we had a visitor this evening, Miss Colette.
Yes. Pouring my own wine, I see. That's fine.
I mean, I'll pour Sylvie's wine.
No. Yes, well, indeed. Yes, she is evidently our handler. German, as you might have guessed. She came to us with a veritable basket full of missions, I suppose we'll call them. Yes, missions. For one, the gas that was stolen has fallen into the wrong hands, and we must find out whose hands that they have fallen into so that evil terrorists don't unleash the gas upon the city. And of course, it would be better for our very ambitious handler if we found out where that gas was. And I'm thinking we could point her in some directions. In addition to that, you know, it would be very good for our handler if we were able to point her in some directions of Folka's killer. Because it turns out that he was killed. I'm so shocked. So that's something that we are also hot on the trail of.
Oscar, do they know it was you who started or broke the girl out, Jeannette?
They will.
Were you always Gestapo? Where do you come from? I have so many questions that you're really not answering.
When you ask him if he is Gestapo, you can see a visible, like, disgust come across his...
Oh, see, I like that. I like what I'm seeing right now. That's what I feel as well.
I was conscripted into the military. I was not Gestapo.
This is good. Sylvie looks at Regina. I think this is good. What I'm seeing right now, I think that can work for us.
Yes. It seems that German military and Gestapo are walking a fine line with one another.
Well, they don't like each other. That much we saw.
Which is a weakness on their part, something that we can exploit.
Well, plus, our Colette was extremely sorry about the terrible, terrible mistakes that were made on our cell's behalf. The fact that I was taken into custody, the fact that we were treated so poorly, mistakes that never would have been made under the supervising rule of a woman leader. So said by our Colette herself. I'm just throwing things out that I happened to notice during the conversation.
So she has a soft spot for females.
In leadership, herself in particular.
Is she a leader here? I do not know of Colette.
She is not, but I feel that she may have desires. Desires that, I don't know, may serve our purposes.
She has desires, and right now she has claws. So
I imagine
she could
that
use
she
them either
worked
way.
for Folka to know this much, or at least to be this confused.
She seems very confused.
Okay, let's lay our cards on the table. Folka is missing and everybody believes it was not us. They are looking for a scapegoat, a fall man. If the
They know it-
Germans are against, or at least in distaste with Gestapo, it would be a very easy apple to pick. Lowest hanging fruit.
Oscar, I have a question for you. How
Yeah.
did you come into contact with Jeannette? Where did you see her? You were just waltzing past each other down the hallway.
I was her administrator. I was his guard. I was in the room when she was questioned.
We'll have a conversation about that later. On your experience in the room, don't give me details. On your experience in the room, clearly they were not able to get any concrete information. What was your take, though? You seem like a, albeit simple, but relatively intelligent individual. Did it seem like they were getting anywhere with her? They kept her alive for a very long time, so I'm assuming they were still trying to get some information out of her.
I have no idea. The girl knew nothing. It was evident in the first time I saw him question her, but he took a pleasure in it.
So you could tell immediately, you who have said here that you are not Gestapo, how many people have you tortured in your career?
I tortured no one.
You've tortured no one. And the person that you were guarding that they brought in, I'm assuming was a professional.
He would have thought so.
A professional they brought in that a mere amateur could tell within the first moment that their subject knew nothing.
These are the same questions I asked myself. I even spoke of them, but it's hard to question your superior on their ineptitude.
Well, that's something to bear in mind. I am your employer. Remember that. So she turns to Regina. That, I think, is something interesting were we to sow some seeds of discontent between just sharing a little information between Gestapo and military intelligence, I would think. Why would they keep someone that they know knows nothing?
Because months of interrogating the same person who knows nobody is a clear sign of, to be honest, that they had nothing.
I have an idea.
Were they trying to, oh, I don't know, perhaps cover for something that they knew? Perhaps themselves in some way?
We could get you, and I point to Oscar, off the hook, and still blame Gestapo for Falker's death. We still have the issue of the... We do still have the issue of the gas canister, which, at the moment, with the uprising of communists in the city, it could be also an easy pass-off.
Also, I look up and was like, oh, so I should stop making his fake IDs now?
No. Carry on with that. I think that's important.
Okay.
Just to have
Because
on
Tango
hand.
has a sandwich in one hand, smoking a cigarette, and already kind of piecing together out of his like fake ID kit.
Colette,
He's already doing something for us.
Colette, trust us, yes.
Colette is so riddled with administrative guilt that she cannot see beyond her notebook.
We need her to trust the rest of our team. And we're going to need just more than Gestapo did it. We're going to need somebody that was in the room. And I cut eyes to Oscar.
You've been in a room or two, have you not?
We need someone that was in the room. If it is true, and it is, that Jeannette knew nothing, and it was obvious to you, Oscar, immediately, it means that they were using Jeannette as a cover, beating nothing out of her. This looks suspicious, does it not? When you realize that she had nothing to offer them, and say, I don't know, whatever officer was torturing her, let it slip, that it was all a front, a guise, a ruse. You took action as a good German soldier would. You saved Jeannette, somebody that loved Folka, and who took the fall for Gestapo, who killed her lover.
It's what anyone would do.
What we need is a second piece of evidence, something that really seals the deal. Tango, do you still have that Gestapo?
Yes, I'm sorry. I have a
Suit.
sandwich in my mouth.
What is new? Do you still have that Gestapo uniform? Oh no, we
Yeah.
didn't have a Gestapo. We did have a Gestapo one. Okay.
It was, yeah.
How do you feel about
We had a
planting?
Gestapo, and I think we also had a. Oh,
Military.
he had a whole like.
Because
yeah,
you've been like playing the game Hitman, where you strip people and you take their clothes.
That's what I do.
We're developing a
Right.
wardrobe to add to the wardrobe.
Yeah, okay. Regina's got it. She goes, oh, even better. All we need is a good forgery. A good Gestapo folder full of, I don't know, photographs of Falcus files.
I seem to recall something about that.
I do too. And all we need is to say, forge it, and I'll let Colette know it came right out of Gestapo headquarters. Oscar saved 2 things.
Don't we know somebody who really, in the Gestapo, who really did not like Falco?
I seem to recall this individual.
What was his name? Hostel?
Tristan.
Tristan. Hostel.
Tristan, and his and he
And for
hasn't
those
made
in
it.
audience, that is the head of the Gestapo in Paris, Tristan Hassel.
He would
Yeah, we're
be
going
the
right to the top here.
Yep, he would be the perfect cover for all of this.
His distaste for Falca's everything in German intelligence would pin him as somebody who would be eager to take down Falco.
It's been widely witnessed by many people.
Falca is the big catch. You said they are interested in who took the gas.
They are, and everyone is interested. It would be a feather in our Colette's cap if we were the ones to shed light on that little mystery.
I have another thought. Hannah is under radar, in danger.
What? What do you mean she's in danger?
They seized Jewish bank accounts today. All of them. She told me this morning. In doing so, they have also begun taking an inventory of Jewish items across the city.
Is she's not returning to her?
She is staying with me for now.
Oh, I see.
For safety reasons.
Of course she is, my dear. Of course she is.
That's why I stay with Sylvie.
We need to get her off of a list, an important one that Colette could assure her name is erased from. Colette needs information. If we tell her that if we tell her that Hannah is working with us as a doctor, somebody who serves the resistance and feeds us information.
Well, yes, of course, anything.
It would help Sylvie. It would help Hannah Sylvie. And more importantly, we could easily feed Colette information.
Yes.
That communists, she heard through the grapevine, took the gas and are moving across the border north back to Russia. We have to keep them off of its actual trail.
Correct me if I'm wrong. My geography was never my strongest suit, but Russia is the opposite direction of London, is it not?
It is.
Fantastic.
I kind of make eyes at Oscar, and I was like...
Oscar goes back behind the bar, and he would reach lower and grab a bottle of whiskey that's already been opened, and he would look for, confirmation that it was okay to open and drink this. And then he would pull a glass out if he's given permission.
Yes, whiskey. Some of our best ideas have come from whiskey.
When
So-
you do that, you notice Hannah, who's up at the threshold of the doorway. She had been washing her hands in the sink, and she looks at you all. She clearly has heard some of this conversation, but you don't know how much. She says, "Why would they ever believe the Gestapo killed the head of military intelligence? Why would they believe that?"
Hannah, my love.
Oscar turns to Hannah and goes, "That right there."
But also, if you were to make some sort of lie, you would have to, and you can tell she looks very disturbed, you would have to return Jeannette, and, I mean...
Would we?
No. Jeannette will not be returning anywhere. And
No, I don't think you understand. If this man here, Monsieur, I don't know your last name,
Oscar Mueller.
Monsieur Müller killed this man because he's a good German, he wouldn't have taken the woman. He wouldn't have taken Jeannette, and if he did, he would have given her back.
Not necessarily true. It is true they believe we are working for them. Why not Jeannette as well?
she
So
was.
that's-
Safe, and more importantly, the Germans will very quickly see that Gestapo is looking for her. Why? Because she knows all their secrets. And more importantly, I have a feeling that the German officers won't really care whether or not Gestapo did it proper. All they need is enough evidence to pin it on them. They want
Well-
Gestapo gone as much as we do.
The Germans will believe the Gestapo did it because they want to believe.
If you're looking for trouble, you're going to find it, even if it's not actually there.
And as long as we keep them on our side, we can also keep you safe.
This is, I don't need... I don't want to make a deal with them for my safety.
Hannah, with all due respect, it's not for you. It's for everyone. It's bigger than you. I found out this morning about what happened to your bank account, what happened to your assets. It's not just you, my love. It's what happened already, what happened to the people who weren't citizens of this city. That's going to continue. That's going to get worse. What happened to Dmitri is going to happen to everyone. They're not going to stop.
But you are not planning to give over people for them. You're planning to give over people for me.
We're not
Incorrect.
giving over anyone.
Ego. It is a cruel mistress. It blinds you to the truth. We don't have to turn anyone in. We just simply have to lie enough to them where their egos are satiated. And if we turn over Gestapo,
Toss a steak to the dogs, let them fight amongst themselves. It's not my problem.
we just have to stay far enough away from it until it all settles down.
And honestly, we're just going to feed them information that this is a possibility, too. We don't have to tell them it's absolute. It's something for them to look into. And that should satiate that as well, right? We gave them information. Information doesn't always mean it's, I don't know, 100%.
Oscar takes a drink of whiskey and says, "You're all going to die."
Oh, yeah,
That is true.
sure.
Speak
This
for
is mad.
yourselves. I do not plan on dying.
Well,
Do you fear death?
Me?
No, Oscar.
Oh. I don't care what Oscar fears.
Donka. Since we are apparently all going to die, and none of us fear it, if you wish to do what you say and so this information, this disinformation, it is could keep you alive an extra few days if you have someone else tell part of your tale. If it all comes from you, you are the single farmers of this field of lies. If the weeds grow in different parts of the city, then it sounds like a story and not a lie.
We could put some feelers out, start some rumors on the streets, a good bit of propaganda, claiming that the communists are moving the gas would not hurt us. Would be one less thing. What else do you suggest, Oscar?
Just
There is a knock at the back door.
God damn it.
It is close to midnight.
Why are we so popular tonight? All right, I'll check
Get
it.
it.
Oh.
None of you.
Wait,
Regina
oh.
already has her gun up. She's like, I'll check it. And I'll go
Fine.
downstairs
Oh, yes.
to check
Let's-
the door.
Let's let Regina with the gun, waving it around madly, check the door.
I didn't say she was waving it madly. She's puts it
waving
up
it
against the
madly.
door. Yeah, up against the door, just like she did for Oscar, and we'll check the back door.
Oscar retrieves his MP40. Go ahead.
Everybody pulls a weapon, basically.
Sylvie's gonna follow. She just wants to see what's going on.
Tango pulls no gun. He is still working on Oscar's identification. It doesn't seem like he really cares. There's, I don't know.
Sylvie just
You get
knows.
desensitized by things like this happening all the time.
You open the door, and there in the darkness, in the night, is a man, tall, lanky, with a scar on his face, and he just pushes his way in, and you know him immediately. And he goes, "Oh, I say."
I close the door behind him.
Sylvie
And I
turns around and walks back to the bar.
I point a gun at him from a distance, and I simply say, "You really should come in better hours. That's how
Well,
somebody gets shot."
this seemed to be the best time to be meeting in person. I got your message in the library.
Someone give me a bucket. I'm going to vomit.
How's
he's-
his face look?
It's got this nasty red scar on it, and he looks at this room and he sees you, Oscar, and he goes, "Well, I say, who's this? You're someone new in your team."
I'm just a bartender, and he hands a bucket to Sylvie.
Thank you.
Oh, dear Lord, another kraut. This is what is
Sylvie's
this?
gonna elbow Tango and be like, "I say, who's this?
Oh my god. Oh, look at me.
Oh, so British."
I suggest you get to your
British.
point if you want the mocking to stop.
And he says, "I'm here because you wanted to ask me a question. If you don't need the help of London, I can
Come,
easily leave."
let's go upstairs. There. Maybe we can share a bottle.
Oscar, pull out something cheap.
I will lead him upstairs. I sit at the same table.
As they're going
Set up
upstairs, all
last
you hear
time.
from, as they kind of hear is just like, "Oh, with some crumpets, maybe. It's tea time."
I'm Jack the Ripper.
Oh, Jack the Ripper. Oh, no, I'm so scared.
I pour him a drink. I have finished my most recent task, or at least would like to say that we are in a place where more radios are needed.
Who is this one, then? He narrows his eyes at Oscar. Code name? Who are you? It's all right, you can tell me. I'm the courier.
He goes.
We have a
oh,
code name.
We call him
Puck.
Poker Face.
Puck. We call him Puck.
All right, Puck. I'm Falstaff. When were you recruited? No, I don't need to know these things. Oh, maybe I do.
make eyes at him again. Please, just let them know. Guildenstern is ready for more radios.
Really? You're
Do you
ready.
think I would have asked you to come here and sit with your ugly face across a table if I was not serious?
He looks over at Tango Rosencrantz.
Hello.
Listen, you need to know this. You were all very unprofessional. You're an embarrassment to the SOE. This is highly unusual.
Is that your feelings?
Embarrassment. I want to say that we may have accomplished more than any other cell here. But you wouldn't know that because we're so good.
The thing is that he does.
Have you ever
know
thought
it.
about that?
I do know. I've heard things. I've gotten your reports. All right. I think you're going by Tango now, isn't that right, Rosencrantz? Or records call you Rosencrantz.
Tango is preferred right now, yeah.
All right. Well, you're the leader of this cell.
Oh, yeah, I forget I am. Yeah, no, I am.
Oh God, I
Absolutely.
What?
Everybody be quiet, let the man talk. Obviously, I'm in charge here.
I look at Oscar apologetically.
Mr. Crumpets, go on.
Again, Falstaff. Listen,
Mr. Crumpets.
do you want me to give you a recommendation for these things or not? Whether or not you get this equipment is based on my recommendation alone.
Does that make you sleep at night?
Hold on. Yes, we do want these recommendations. So the answer is yes. Can we move on and fight the good fight? Because it go a long way. We're saving a lot of people's lives here.
Hang on, he might need his diapers changed first.
He stands up.
Sylvie,
Sit.
did not mean that.
please.
I'm sorry, I was talking about
I would,
Oscar.
I would
was
like
talking
you,
about Oscar. Oscar
Sylvie?
is a very complicated bartender. He's new.
I would like you to roll a provoke attack.
Damn it, Sylvie! Damn it! Always with that mouth. Yeah.
What do I roll for that?
It is
Just
your
checked.
provoke.
For those of you that don't know, we are antagonistic. This is our connection with London. He's an asshole
He
and a
is.
bit
He said some
misogynistic.
things I didn't like.
This
He's
is
not
true.
a very nice human.
He's not.
And we accidentally smashed a bottle up next to his head last time.
It
he
was
here.
very accidental, and I rolled a 0.
He dislikes women, and I assume also puppies and kittens. He's just not a great guy.
Just not a good human.
He dislikes everything good in this universe.
So, Sylvie,
Yes.
would you like a complication? I'll give you a fate point if you like. Would you like a fate point?
Oh, Sylvie.
I feel like your sass is going to be upsetting enough that he's going to walk out right now and you will lose this support.
No. I'll. No. I will give up a fate point for my mouth.
All right.
This is for the bigger picture.
Give up a fate point.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I love all of you. I love you so much.
He sits back down and he turns back to Tango and he says, Tango, you should get your women in control. You don't.
Oh,
Just because one of them
wow.
wears pants, wears slacks, trousers, doesn't mean that they can be mouthing off this way.
I'm going to stand up. I'm going to stand up. Hold on. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to stand up. And when I come, I'm just going to smile. I'm going to have a drink in my hand. I'm going to put it in front of his face. Slam it down. Oh, yes. The women.
She's gonna
About
kill
them.
a man.
About them.
Kill a man with her fair
And he's going
hand.
to, for the first time, I don't think he's ever punched this guy, or really he's not a puncher, but he is going to punch him in the face.
Oh, can I try to stop that from happening?
Yeah. I'm about to, but it's a wild thing. He's not good at punching. So Regina, you could actually stop.
I
him
probably
because
reach out and like grab your fist and stop it.
Can
right
I
before it-
assist to help the punch be successful?
Let's have a talk about this.
I would like to assist to make this punch
Because if you
happen.
remember, Tango,
Yes, I do
when
remember.
he first started, Tango is basically he's a feminist. So
I'm going to need, let's see, I would say either fight or athletics between, let's get a fight or athletics from Regina to try to intercede.
I just rolled a 0.
And I need a fight from Tango, and you get a +1 from Sylvie.
and that's physique.
Fight.
Fight. I see.
Can I
fight.
spend? Okay, well, let's see what he rolls
Let's
first.
see what he
Because
rolls
I
first.
may spend a fate point.
I got an average.
Yeah,
And that's really a 2.
That's a
I'm
2.
gonna say I'm a plot first, friends later, or
You are.
sees all the angles kind of
You are.
lady.
You are.
I got a fate point to spend. I'm gonna spend it. You can take it.
Dot, I was going to say, Oscar, if he saw
Mhm.
Regina get involved, he would get involved too, to just try to keep everybody from, if that seemed to
Oh,
be
okay.
the direction you were going in,
Yeah.
he would step forward and try to get everybody parted, if that's allowable in the narrative. I don't,
Which
I
will
don't
give you
wanna
that.
inter-
Which will
Okay.
give
Yeah,
you
you could help me. You
Yeah.
could definitely help me, which would
Yeah.
give me what, a 1?
another +1. Yeah.
So we would tie.
Yeah. So you're gonna want to spend that fate point.
I'm still gonna want to spend the fate point. Okay.
So-
okay.
Yeah. So I would say that I start to go for the punch. I think Sylvie's like, yeah, I don't know what she's doing. But she's like, woo, get it.
Sylvie's gonna jump on Tango's back and just like throw a punch too. She is like all
Clawing
about
on
it.
But then Oscar joins the fray. But
Tell me,
at the end of the
Regina, how
day,
you stop this
Regina-
punch from going through.
Oh,
And
can I take it?
you can.
Can I
it.
take the punch
Yeah.
instead?
Yes, you can.
Oh no.
I will.
Yes, you can.
I'll take the punch instead to the gut, if at all possible. Because I
That-
imagine like stand and
yeah.
he's coming down at his face and
Yeah.
he kind of hits me. Yeah, I'll take the punch.
That'll be 2 shifts that you need to take. Physical.
Yay!
Oh,
the physical stress. That is a.
So as he's about to like, and let me tell you about these women who have helped save countless lives. They put their lives in danger. They are here every day in the front lines, like doing that number. And he's about to like punch, and then oh no.
Oh no. And
Yeah.
as soon as it connects to Regina, Sylvie is
Yeah, yeah. I'll take the punch really hard. I'm sure of it. So that means I didn't need to spend a fate point. I basically, with the help of
Yep.
Oscar.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So I got rid of it. So I'll need one of them back. But I'll take all 2 with physical stress.
oh
After I take
I'll give you that fate
it.
point back, Dot.
Thank you.
You're
After
welcome.
I take the hit, I don't make a sound. I just take the punch. When he's all done being an egotistical maniac and an asshole about women, the chair that's probably got pushed back in the midst of all of this, I pick up and I spin around backwards. And I sit with my pants backwards in this chair, really, really close to him. Probably my nose is bleeding. My mouth is bleeding.
when there's a moment in that lull as Oscar kind of inserted himself too late to stop the punch, but he would probably be face to face with Falstaff as he's like over the table. And as everything gets quiet, everybody stops for a second. He would lock eyes with Falstaff and he would say, "If we shadows have offended, think but this and all is mended. You have just slumbered here while these visions did appear." Or something like that. And he gets back.
I'm going to
And-
need from you.
Another provoke. God damn it.
Yes, but
God damn it.
but this is now different. We have just entered, and we're going to go to break. When we come back from break, we're going to do a social combat. You need to get him down will-wise through your wiles, so that he concedes to work with you after all of your ridiculousness. And that right there, my good dear Oscar, is going to be the first attack in this social conflict.
Okay.
But we're going to break first. And
Oh, okay.
Oh yes. Now, well, like this particular social attack is, you're not trying to get him angry at you. You're trying to get him not angry at you, because that's where he's at right now. And it's going to be about if you can get him, if you can take him out, he will stay and work with you. But right now, he is not in a good mood.
I was going to say, Regina hasn't even, she took a punch for the
Yes,
man. She hasn't even got
yes.
to say anything yet, so he can suck it. He can suck it.
But we will see how this goes. We're going to do our social conflict right about now with Falstaff, and that's a good move. But we'll find out the result after break. So everyone, we have a 10-minute break. We want you to go and like stretch, hydrate, and we will find out if the person who can get them radios will be assuaged from his situation.
His name is Mr. Crumpets.
He is. He's very important. He has a title. You don't know it because he's going by a code name. He's a very
Tell me
important
he does
person.
not like crumpets, though.
That's not the
Like,
point.
get him to admit to me
That
that
is
he does
not
like
the
crumpets.
point. Not the point.
Regina probably knows he's super important, and we cannot fuck this one up.
Yes, that is correct. So you're gonna have to
To
think
be
about
fair,
that one.
She's
So
beat him up the
Regina-
most out of all of
She-
us. Regina's
she,
beat
like,
him up the
smashed
most.
Which is why she took a punch for him.
It is true. It is true.
That's why she took a punch.
It
this
is
time.
true. So we will see how our crew gets to talking with this public school boy when we get back from our break. But we did get, by the way, some bits. I would like to shout out some love for Arissa, who's our wonderful mod, who's given us 1,000 bits with this message. I can't even express how much I love this cast. And so, for all of the love for this cast, we're going to go on a little break. And when we get back, we're going to find out if they can work out their situation with Falstaff, who is, not feeling good about you all right about now. That's it. We're going to break. We're going to break. We'll be right back. 10 minutes, everybody.
From my last talk to you, I should like to tell you of the day on which I was shot down. Not because it was in any way remarkable, but because it has naturally enough remained clear in my memory, and is at the same time a fairly typical day in the life of a squadron. September the 3rd, dawn dark and overcast, with a slight breeze ruffling the water of the estuary. Hornchurch wore its usual morning pallor of yellow fog, making visibility practically impossible. From time to time, a balloon would poke its head grotesquely through the mist as though looking for possible victim, falling back again like some tired monster. We came out onto the tarmac at about 8 o'clock to find that during the night our machines had been moved from the dispersal point over to the hangars, while all the machine tools, oil, and general equipment had been left on the far side of the aerodrome. I was seriously worried, as after a recent bombing ordeal, my plane had been fitted out with a brand new hood. This hood, unfortunately, wouldn't open, and with a depleted ground staff and no tools, I began to fear it never would. But miraculously, Uncle George, our squadron leader, produced a lorry and 3 men, who quickly returned with a large file and some lubricating oil. Whereupon the corporal fitter and I set upon the hood with a fury of haste, taking it turn by turn to file and oil and file, until at last the hood began to move, but agonizingly slowly. By 10 o'clock, when the mist had cleared and the sun was blazing out of a clear sky, it was still sticking firmly halfway along the groove. At 10:15, what I'd feared for the last hour happened. Down the tannoy came the emotionless voice of the controller. 603 Squadron, take off from patrol base. You will receive further orders in the air. 603 Squadron, take off as quickly as you can, please. As I pressed the starter and the engine roared into life, the corporal stepped back and crossed his fingers significantly. I felt the usual sick feeling in the pit of the stomach, as though I were about to row a race, and then I was too busy getting into position to feel anything. Uncle George in the leading section took off in a cloud of dust. Brian Carberry looked across and put up his thumbs. I nodded and opened up to take off for the last time from Hornchurch. I was flying number 3 in Brown's section, with Stapleton on the right. The 3rd section consisted of only 2 machines, so that our squadron strength was 8. We headed southeast, climbing all out on a steady course. At about 12,000 feet, we came up through the clouds, and looking down, I saw them spread out below me like layers of whipped cream. The sun was brilliant and made it difficult to see even the next plane when turning. I was peering anxiously ahead as the controller had given us warning of at least 50 enemy fighters approaching very high. When we did first sight them, nobody shouted, as I think everyone saw them at the same moment. They must have been 500 to 1,000 feet above us and coming straight on like a huge swarm of locusts. I remember cursing and automatically going into line astern. The next moment we were in among them, and it was each man for himself. As soon as they saw us, they spread out and dived, and the next 10 minutes was a blur of twisting machines and tracer bullets. One Messerschmitt went down in a sheet of flames on my right, and a Spitfire hurtled past in a half roll. I was weaving and turning in a desperate attempt to gain height, with the machine practically hanging on the air screw. Then, just below me, and to my left, I saw what I'd been praying for. A Messerschmitt climbing and away from the sun. I closed in to 200 yards, and from slightly to one side, gave him a 2-second burst. Fabric ripped off the wing and black smoke poured from the engine, but he didn't go down. Like a fool, I didn't break away, but put in another 3-second burst. Red flame shot upwards and he spiraled out of sight. At that moment, I felt a terrific explosion which knocked the control stick from my hand, and the whole machine quivered like a stricken animal. In a second, the cockpit was a mass of flames. I reached up to open the hood. It wouldn't move. I tore off my straps and managed to force it back. But this took time, and when I dropped back into the seat and reached for the stick in an effort to turn the plane onto its back, the heat was so intense that I could feel myself going. I remember thinking, so this is it, and putting both my hands up to my eyes. Then I passed out. I regained consciousness free of the machine and falling rapidly. I pulled the ripcord of my parachute and checked my descent with a jerk. Looking down, I saw that my left trouser leg was burnt off, that I was going to fall into the sea, and that the English coast was deplorably far away. About 20 feet above the water, I attempted to undo my parachute, failed, and flopped into the sea with it billowing around me. The water was not unwarm, and I was pleasantly surprised to find that my life jacket kept me afloat. I looked at my watch. It was not there. Then for the first time I noticed how burnt my hands were. Down to the wrist the skin was dead white and hung in shreds. I felt faintly sick from the smell of burnt flesh. By closing one eye I could see my lips jutting out like Michelin tires, while the side of my parachute harness was particularly painful, so that I guessed my right hip was burnt. I made a further attempt to undo the harness, but owing to the pain in my hands, soon desisted. Instead, I lay back and reviewed my position. I was a long way from land. My hands were burnt, and so, judging from the pain of the sun, was my face. It was unlikely that anyone on shore had seen me come down, and even more unlikely that a ship would come by. I could float for possibly 4 hours in my life jacket. I began to feel that I was perhaps premature in considering myself lucky to have escaped from the machine. After about half an hour, my teeth started chattering, and to quieten them, I kept up a regular, tuneless chant, varying it from time to time with calls for help. There can be few more futile pastimes than yelling for help, alone in the North Sea with a solitary seagull for company. Yet it gave me a certain melancholy satisfaction, for I had once written a short story in which the hero, falling from a liner, had done just this. It was rejected. The water now seemed much colder, and I noticed with surprise that the sun had gone in, though my face was still burning. I looked down at my hands, and not seeing them, realized that I'd gone blind. So I was going to die. It came to me like that. I was going to die, and oddly enough, I was not afraid. This realization came as a surprise to me. The manner of my approaching demise appalled and horrified me, but the actual vision of death left me unmoved. I felt only a profound curiosity and a sense of satisfaction that within a few minutes, or a few hours, I was to discover the answer to the question civilization had never solved. I decided that it should be in a few minutes. I had no qualms about hurrying things along a bit, and reaching up, I managed to unscrew the valve of my life jacket. The air escaped in a rush, and my head went underwater. It is said by people all but dead from the sea that drowning is a pleasant death. I didn't find it so. I swallowed a large quantity of water before my head came up again, but derived little satisfaction from it. I tried again, to find that I couldn't get my face under. I was so enmeshed in my parachute that I couldn't move. For the next 10 minutes, I tore my hands to ribbons on the spring release catch. It was stuck fast. I lay back exhausted, and then I started to laugh. I was probably hysterical, but my grand gesture of suicide, being so oddly thwarted, struck me as grotesque. Goethe once wrote as a young man that no one, unless he had led the full life and realized himself completely, had the right to take his own life. Providence seemed determined that I should not incur the great man's displeasure. It has often been said that a dying man relives his whole life in one rapid kaleidoscope. I merely thought rather gloomily of the squadron returning, of my mother at home, and of the few people who had missed me. Outside my family, I could count those on the fingers of one hand. What did gratify me enormously was to find that I indulged in no frantic abasements or prayers to the Almighty. It is an old jibe by God-fearing Christians that the irreligious always change their tune when about to die. I was pleased to be able to prove them wrong. Faced with an indeterminate period of waiting, I began to feel depressingly lonely and sought for some means to take my mind off my plight. Knowing that I must soon become delirious, I attempted to hasten the process by encouraging my mind to wander vaguely and aimlessly, and I experienced a certain peace. Then I forced myself to think of something concrete and found that I was still only too lucid. I went on doing this with varying success until I was picked up. I remember hearing somebody shout, as if in a dream. It seemed so far away and quite unconnected with me. Then, willing arms were dragging me over the side, my parachute was taken off, and with such ease, a brandy flask was pushed between my lips, a voice said, "Okay, it's Joe," one of ours and still kicking, and I was safe. I was neither relieved nor angry. I was past caring.
And we are back from break, everyone. Hi. How are you all? I'm so excited to be back. We're gonna have a conflict. We're gonna have a conflict. Surprise! I didn't think we were, but we are. We're gonna have a little bit of a conflict right now because who has arrived in their bar late at night is a man named Falstaff. Falstaff is a person who tries not to meet them in person, but there was a very sort of important message coming from Regina that he should come in and arrive. So he arrived late at night, and our Falstaff is a member of the SOE, which is the Special Operative Executive, which is the organization that would become the MI6, MI5. They are the organization that is training agents and supplying them with supplies and sort of doing these things. They've not been in France long. They've just arrived, and Tango was one of their first agents that was airdropped in. They train, of course, British people, but they also train a lot of other people, refugees, especially like Polish refugees would come in and they would train them and then drop them back off into Poland. So they are sort of trying to coordinate resistance movements all across Europe. Now, this man, Falstaff, who they met last season, is a new person. At this point in time, these resistance cells are not coordinated. They're not they're all very separate and isolated, which makes them safer, but means that you can't do larger things. And so he has been brought in to help coordinate these different resistance cells. He knows probably all of the cells in the area, not only just in Paris, but in the slightly larger region. What he does is he moves between them as a mailman, right? To sort of coordinate things that can't, especially because they've lost a bunch of radio operators. So he's a very important figure whose job it is to sort of go around and coordinate these groups, but also his job is to find out if any of these groups have been compromised. And he first came on the scene because there was some concern that perhaps Regina, who's German, was compromised because she had been sort of taken in by the Gestapo by German military intelligence for some interviews. And they wanted to make sure that everything was fine. And they stabbed him. Regina stabbed him in the face with a broken bottle. When
some would say smash.
Yeah,
Or slash.
Slash.
Yeah. There was a bottle to face embrace.
There was a bottle to face situation, mainly because he is rich.
Awful.
Rich and has attitudes. And some of the attitudes involves the fact that none of these people are British. And he... he doesn't respect them, although they've done good work since then, and so he's gotten some respect from them for the work they've actually done, but they also humiliated him, and he's not the kind of person that appreciates that. And he's come here because he wanted to find out what they needed from him, and it has gone bad. So we are going to go into combat, but fate calls it conflict. And our first attack for this one is going to be coming from our dearest and most lovable Oscar, who makes this wonderful speech from Midsummer Night's Dream as Puck. And I will allow you all to make, you have a choice. You can either make your attacks using provoke, or with this particular instance, you can use rapport. One of the two. And my dearest Oscar, you get to begin.
Well, they both equally stink because Oscar is a one-trick pony. But
And I will tell you,
okay,
he's a goodwill.
I'm gonna just go with the provoke and. Well, let's let fate decide, shall we?
We will let fate decide.
What? No, not in this game.
Let's see. What did you roll, my friend?
A mediocre 0.
A 0. I will
Could've been
roll
worse.
I will roll his will. And he rolls a 5. So you try to. That's a 5. You can all spend fate points if you like, but you're going to need 3 of them to beat that 5. I'm just going to note that one. So you try to make this speech to calm him down. He is clearly pissed, right? He is like on the, like, people tried to punch him. He doesn't know, like the person who was the one reasonable person, you know, the guy man that he knows, attacked him. He is not in a good mood, and what you said is not calming him down. He is still real mad. Who do you toss it to?
I have high rapport.
That seems like meta knowledge. I'm not sure I would have that.
But I want to try and make amends for what Sylvie would like to make amends for. She sees what's happening. And despite the fact that she can't keep her mouth shut, she is a bar owner. She has seen things disintegrate, and she does know how to keep a peaceful bar. Like, you know, fights do not get super out of control in her bar. Like, that does not happen.
Then he would look back at you, and as kind of the narrative drop for initiative, he would simply say, I think I want to raise.
Falstaff, listen, I want to apologize. I know that we've gotten off tonight. And she walks toward him, pouring him a glass of something nice. Something nice. You know what, Falstaff, would you like a glass of wine, whiskey, coffee? What can I get for you? My treat. I know that we got off on the wrong foot tonight, and it's late. You've probably had a long day.
Roll it. Roll your rapport.
I think I rolled it, but it's not. Hang on. Try again.
Okay. All right.
He likes my offerings, is what I'm feeling.
I roll an 8.
Holy fuck.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm currently beating you by 3.
Dang, dude.
Oh, also I should get my full fate points because I have 4. Do you want to spend any fate points on that one, my dear?
I have rapport as well, but at an average. Can I add a +1, and can I do a fate point to add that to another 2?
So if you want to
For
give
her?
a +1, then you wouldn't take your move. But there, people can spend fate points.
Okay.
You're currently 3 down. That's up to you. If you want to spend a fate point on that one.
I rolled a freaking 5. Come on, man.
Fate point or no?
Falstaff, I will give you literally anything in this bar right now.
I was about to say you could spend a fate point. It would add 2 and make it a 7. And with Tango's help, you can make the 8 and meet him.
Right.
All right.
So Tango would spend a fate point to give you the 1. You would spend a fate point to up yours by 2, and that would make it 8 total, right?
I am willing to meet.
Which is,
well, also,
which is a tie.
Could I? Here's my question for you. Would, and I don't. Well. I don't. This may be a bit of a stretch, but I'm gonna throw it out there. Since this is a combat. Even though I'm trying to combat it with love. Since what really started this punch was his statement on women, of which I am, and technically speaking, that was an attack on me before this provocation of which I am experiencing right now. Would this not be a comeback?
But your comeback is for provoke, not rapport.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I would like, this is for all of us. I would like to spend a fate point for all of us.
Do it.
What's the aspect?
The aspect is me opening up this thing so I can look at our aspects. The aspect.
Oh, Kira, you did.
What?
Oh, Kira's like, oh, I think I came in a tense moment. Oh, you did.
Yeah, that's would be true.
They're all tense moments in season 2.
That is correct.
I mean, we're passionate for the cause.
I was going to say passion for the cause because you do not know how much Sylvie has to care about the cause to be doing what she's doing right now. Because things that she cares about, her stock, her pride, not apologizing to assholes.
Yeah, and regardless of how much he likes us, we are on the same side.
And Sylvie is doing all of this because she understands that we need his help for what we're trying to do right now.
Right. And for my help on the report, it's me like standing back now and calming down, seeing what I did, Narina, and then just kind of saying, like, starting to pour my own glass and just be like, Falstaff, it's been a trying night. Sorry, I'm on edge.
You all
We're all
get
very sorry. What can I get for you? Is that
Okay,
good?
so
for you,
whose turn is it? Because we're in combat, right?
yes. So
Right.
this is a tie, right?
All right.
With that fate point and
Yes,
with
I
that
believe
bonus, it's a tie, and that means that you do not do damage to him, but you're going to get a boost, and that
Take it.
boost is going to be willing to listen.
I'll accept that.
And he takes the glass of wine that you offer him, and he clearly is still very irritated, but he now has you have the boost on him that he's willing to listen.
Okay. I'm going to take
Regina,
my
why
turn.
don't you?
slide my chair up. I spin it around backwards. I sit in it, like open-legged in my pants. And I spit blood from my mouth onto the floor near his feet, not on him.
Mm-hmm.
And making the point. And she simply says, now that I've bled for you, can we please put your personal feelings about how good I look in these pants to the side and discuss business? Countries are dying and bleeding, and you and I both know that these radios are needed, regardless of your personal feelings about us.
Is this rapport or provoke?
Well, it's definitely going to have to be rapport because I
Mhm.
don't have anything plus for provoke.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap, y'all. Okay.
And you can tell, unless you're trying to. Now, here's a question: you have two options, right? You can do a straight attack, or you can try to create an advantage for someone else.
Okay. Well, we're down. We still need 3 on him, right, to make this.
Yeah, because you've not hit him yet.
We've not actually hit him yet. Okay. So what I'd like
he's in his feelings at this moment.
Right. Okay. Well, I did take a punch for him, so
Yeah.
I'd like to think that's a +1 without a fate point.
Yeah.
Like I actually
Yes.
took the damage he
Yes.
would have taken.
Yes.
Okay. So let's just roll this rapport,
Okay.
and then I have some ideas. Y'all, nervous. Okay.
2.
Okay, that's not very good. Your turn.
And +1, right? So that's a 3.
Was a +1.
Mhm.
I added the +1.
5.
Okay.
Which is a
Parentheses.
terrible roll for him.
Okay, hang on. What am I at here? Okay, I'm going to spend a personal fate point. I think I'm gonna. Y'all, do I re-roll or I'm gonna just add the 2. That'll
Mhm.
take it to a 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's 1 fate point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna move it over here and delete it. Okay, that takes it to a 4. Can
Mhm.
I spend another fate point? I'll spend my last one if necessary.
What was the fate point
That
you...
would be a 5. That would be to a 5 because
Yeah.
you bumped the 2 to a 3 and the
No,
fate
I added the +1 in the roll.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I added it in the roll, so that is with the +1.
What's
so then I would
the
bump it.
what
four.
are you invoking to get that fate point?
Yeah. I think
Because you're at a 2, and if you want to spend a fate point, you need. Tell me why. Why do you get to be more convincing?
because this isn't about being fucking friends. This
Mhm.
isn't about you liking me.
Mhm.
This is about plotting first and friends later,
Okay.
which is my relationship
Mm-hmm.
aspect. Regina does not play around, and this is I don't
Mhm.
need you to like me for us to do our job.
That brings you to 4 versus his 5.
No, wait, I spent a fate point to add 2.
But you have to justify the fate point, and that's because of friends
Oh,
first.
that's
yeah.
how we justify it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
I still need 1, yeah?
Mhm.
Can I support, or if it's not my turn?
You've already done your turn,
Crap. Okay. I could
And-
spend Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
and you do have willing to listen. As that,
Oh
you
yeah, I
have
could
that
cash
boost.
in on that at this
Mhm.
point to come
Mhm.
up from that. So that boost would add another 1.
Two.
Do it.
Okay.
Do
It would add
it.
another 2. Okay, so that would put us above him. Okay, let's make it a 6. Let's
Do it.
do that. We'll go ahead and
Alright.
spend it. While he's in his passionate moment. Yeah.
Mhm. You see him, and you see him listen to you, and he looks at you, And he takes a drink of this wine. And you see him grit his teeth, but you also see him not leaving. Who do you toss it to? There's only one. Well, there are two people you can toss it to. Him or Tango.
Okay. Him. Oh, Tango hasn't taken a turn yet?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Now that everything's calmed down, I look at Tango to make sure he's calmed down since he threw the punch, and pass my turn to him.
You're muted.
You are muted, you beautiful man.
Tango looks at you like he's clearly kind of shaking with the drink in his hand, but he does look at you and just kind of steels himself and goes, so he's going to walk slowly back to the table, sit down, like make himself presentable, put his drink down, like, let's restart. Like I said, it's been a very, very trying night, and I am deeply sorry. There are things here that are more important than a little squabble.
Give me that rapport.
Man.
He's contemplating your thoughts.
Could I use deceive? Because I don't really want to do that.
Mm-mm. It's either provoke or rapport, but you're trying to calm him down, so it would be rapport. Oh.
Whoa!
He rolls a 7.
Dude,
You're
I'm
down
gonna
by
spend
2.
a fate point
Uh-huh.
and bring it up to a 7.
Yeah.
What's your justification?
My justification is that as he sits down, as he steels himself, he's going to look around and he's going to use unlikely leader,
Mm-hmm.
where he has to understand that there's more at stake here than what he personally feels. So he's going to say, as the unlikely leader here, he's going to do it.
Spin the
Do
fate
the
point.
right thing.
Now that puts you at a tie.
It does.
Do you want to spend more?
I will spend more.
Give me a
I have one more
justification.
of my own personal fate point.
Okay.
Because he's very skeptical of you.
Because we still need 2 more to like end this combat on him.
Yeah, you need a bit more on him because he's a bit more of a he's a bigger
Sweet.
figure.
Right. So Regina got 1 off of him. Yeah. So probably 1 good.
He's a 2 stress box
So-
and he has a 2 and a 4 consequence.
Right. So what if I say,
And you
my
might want some
friend-
consequences on him.
What if I say, my friends in my world?
Mm.
So I take this, I spend another fate point, and I say, my friends in my world, because I look over and I see what I've done to, I punched my own friend
Mm-hmm.
on accident. I know it was on accident. We all know it was on accident.
I mean,
But
Regina
at the
knew
end
it
of
was coming.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it was, if, even though this guy was saying some real bullshit about women, his own friends are kind of telling him no, and they're taking the punch for him, they're doing all these things, then he's going to have faith in the process that this is the right path. And so my friends in my world, and I'm going to let them help guide me through the process here.
He listens to you and you can see that he's still seething. But that's be 2 shifts on him, so that takes up all of his stress. He just has consequences left.
It's his turn.
But it's his turn.
Damn it.
And he looks at all of you. You're all seemingly so reasonable. And he turns to Sylvie. And he looks you up and down. And he says, "It's an embarrassment. Someone like you, this sort of work. First off, women should be at home making babies. rather than running around doing things that are meant for men and not women at all. But also you. You are a liability in this cell. You are hot-headed. You run your mouth. You've caused all sorts of trouble. You are not professional. You are nothing more than a pretty face who can sing well. I am going to make that provoke against you. And it's going.
He has another bottle coming if he's not careful.
Yeah, that will not be great if you do it. And he's like, and you should straighten up and fly right, or else you're going to get everyone killed. Your sorts of behavior and antics will get people killed. You were already taken by the Gestapo once. What is wrong with you? Yeah,
Responder.
he's going to make that provoke. Yeah. His provoke is a 7. I'm going to roll that's a 4, which is terrible. I'm going to spend one of my fate points to re-roll that.
My heart's breaking a little bit.
Because that was a terrible, terrible roll. And I'm going to use my his aspect, which is it's a what's that phrase? It's a
Huge asshole.
No. It's
Oh,
yes,
yeah, that's the phrase.
No, that's what it means. But
Is
it's
it
it's
biscuits and bullshit?
no, it's the breeding will out. Breeding will out. It's the phrase that basically that if you're noble, like you always will win. I think it's a breeding will out. It might be blood will out. But yes. And so let me re-roll that.
4. Oh, that's
Let me re-roll
sad.
that. Let me re-roll that.
Makes me so
8.
sad.
Roll your will. And that's, by the way, his trouble aspect. just so you know.
So for something like this, can I use my stunt?
No, that's for when you're attacking. You're defending right now.
This is basically like attacking.
You're defending right now because he's trying to provoke you into flying off the handle. You miss it by 7.
She may fly off the handle.
Oh, God.
I don't know if there's any not flying off the handle.
Greg, welcome to the table. This is why we kill so many people, because shit gets bad fast.
Because we're sensitive. We're sensitive people.
It's not
No.
sensitive.
So I don't think there's any way she's gonna make that.
Breeding will tell. So you're going to have to take 7 shifts.
How much mental damage can you take?
You can spend 3, right? Because you've got stress that will take up a 3 stress box, mental stress box, which means you'll need a 4. You need to take a consequence of 4.
Couldn't she absorb 5 of it?
Since you've got your boxes are 2, 4, and 6, your consequence boxes.
For the mental stress, like she could take like the 2 and 3 box.
Only 1 stress box per blow.
So I could take the 3 stress box.
And then go to a 4 moderate consequence for it.
And that moderate consequence, my friend, will be, I feel like something like flies off the handle, angry, like rattled, something along these kinds of lines that you are.
I mean, I have an idea actually.
Tell me, give it to me.
I think it will pan itself out here in a moment.
And then he will pass it over to.
Hang on. Sylvie needs to be able to respond to this, though.
I get to choose who goes next. That's how it goes. So he dresses you down, right? Like you are the He says unkind things about you, and
I noticed that.
Yes, he does, and he turns back to Regina, who at this point in time is the only person who he feels is worth listening to. So he just like dresses you down about like how dangerous you are and how you're going to get people killed and how you are not worthwhile. And he turns to Regina.
Now that we're past all of our personal issues, and regardless of what you think of our team, your job is to be a middleman for us. I need radios.
My job is also to make sure that our resources go to safe places. Places that are secure and not compromised.
Falstaff, we are in France. Nazis have invaded. There is nowhere or place here that is safe.
And he glances at Sylvie. Give me a roll.
Okay. Okay. I really wish I could deceive him on this, but I don't think that I can.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna have to rapport him.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Ultimately,
All right.
you can also set up your friends for a bigger move. So you could create an advantage if you would like.
Which would give them a 1?
Well, it would give them. You would put an aspect on him that they could then.
Oh, that's how I would create the advantage. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I don't know that I'll make this rapport roll. So I will, and I'll say, so please do us all a favor and listen to what we have to say. And I'll pass that over.
Roll rapport.
Roll rapport.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was gonna pass it. I was setting up the advantage for somebody else. I still gotta roll it.
You roll it, and if you roll it successfully, you're going to put an aspect on him. You need 2 more. Mm-hmm.
Can I spend a fate point and
really
re-roll?
need 3 is what you want.
Can I re-roll?
Yeah, you can. Why?
Regina. That's only to other Germans.
Mm-hmm.
Regina sees all the angles.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows how to read him like a fucking book. He's a shallow ass motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't give a shit. Yeah, she doesn't give a shit if he likes her. We just need to talk business, and that's an angle based thing. So she's gonna try to re-roll that rapport.
Okay.
Y'all, I hope this goes well. Okay. Yeah, worth the re-roll.
Okay. You are going to create an aspect on him with 1 free invoke.
The aspect is be damned your feelings.
All right.
Be damned your feelings. He can't go on his feelings no more.
Mm-hmm.
This is business.
Mm-hmm. Who do you pass it to?
Yes. Sean's gonna shoot this guy. Oh, I was gonna pass it to Sylvie since she has the highest rapport. Maybe we can finish this combat up. I know that she can do this. I cut eyes to her, the same eyes. It's like we just need to squash it. Just help me out here.
You talk about this, and he listens to you, and he's like, again, this is about safety. This is not about my feelings. If your team is so flashy and loud that one of your members might even be captured, bringing these radios in could be a security compromise. If they get our radios, that is devastating. This is not about my feelings.
They won't. Want to tell them why, Sylvie?
Falstaff, you'll notice that well, you know these things. I'm but a woman, so what do I know? Remind me exactly how long it is that the radio operators tend to, operate these days.
2 to 3 months before they're captured and killed.
2 to 3 months. Interesting.
Yes, and I must say that you need people, in that case, well, operators, who can withstand torture and withstand these sorts of, who are brave and strong. You need people who are professionals.
And as you, being the smart and professional man that you are, and London as well knows, 2 people and ourselves, both of the women, have already experienced close and cozy times with the Germans and not given any information up.
How do I know you haven't? I've learned that this Guildenstern hasn't, but how do I know that you haven't?
Because we're still operating.
You could have been turned.
And yet here we are, and yet here you are, still standing. Falstaff, what you said to me moments ago, how, in the city that we're living in the times that we're living in, are we delicate and innocent creatures ever supposed to return to motherhood, to our
Mocking
delicate
me?
tasks when there's war on the streets? We're all trying to do our part to return the world to the normal, that we can go back to the regular world in which we should live. And I'm not. I heard your words. Believe it or not, look me in the eye when I speak to you, and you'll know that I speak the truth. I was almost a mother once. And
Were you?
yes, I was.
Go on.
And none of that would ever be able to be pursued under these circumstances. I mean, you yourself can admit, these are dangerous times. How are we supposed to raise children in these streets with Nazis walking around?
Roll your rapport. But you are, you must admit, dangerous. You are. By the way, that was a terrible roll.
It was. Wasn't there also a...
Yeah, you may want to re-roll that one.
I was about to say, I would just spend a fate
Yeah.
point to flat re-roll that, because that was...
I will roll my will, by the way. 7.
Holy sh...
And also, did the boost do anything active, or...
Well, you haven't triggered it yet.
Yeah, you have... Yeah, roll first, and then we can trigger the boost.
Okay. I would like to re-roll that.
Based on what reasoning? Why do you get to re-roll?
1 of our fate points. In that, on one of my own aspects, as a connector of humanity, in that moment, Sylvie is actually connecting with him because she is actually sharing something that is actually true with him. Which is something she has not actually told any of the people in the room. And I think something like that would come across. Especially if that's something he was trying to use as something to be a shit about.
Yes.
All right. We're just gonna
Re-roll
do a little re-rollsy on that. All right, where to go? Show me something good. Wait, nope. Show me something good.
Okay.
Better.
All right, that's better. Now the boost. The boost would do it.
That brings you up to 6. You're down 1.
Down only 1, you say?
Could I help with my rapport
Yes, you can.
and like give up my round or something
you
and
can.
give it to her?
That's a tie.
So that only
is a
boosted
tie.
up 1.
Mm-hmm.
Then the fate point would be better spent.
But you can spend another fate point. You have more fate points.
Oh, okay. I was about to say
But you need
Send
another
it up
justification.
2 more then.
that would send it up 3. Because right now it's at 6. 1 would put it. Oh, it would at tie, and
Right
then
now
2 above.
Yeah, it would put it 2 over.
2
Yep.
over.
That is
Which would be
correct.
2 over. I mean,
No complaints from me.
I say do it.
What's the justification?
Let's kill this
Mm-hmm.
guy emotionally.
The Void Smoker, the boost is the aspect. Be damned your feelings.
That's the aspect.
And then you need one more. What is it going to be? How do you push it over? What pushes this over for him.
Oh, and my rapport
Mm-hmm.
is probably going to be where I don't know if anybody will see it, but I'm certainly maybe Sylvie's hand is under the table or something, but I'm actually going to grab her hand and squeeze it and basically help give her, like, send her to good vibes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here with you.
I think I'm going to go again
could
for
also be on the
passionate for the cause.
Yeah.
Because again, this is
Yeah.
this is something that she would not otherwise be, especially if he's being such a. This is not the kind of person she wants to be talking about her feelings to.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it weren't extremely important.
Yeah.
Falstaff.
Take that other fate point out.
All right, it gone.
I'm going to give him the consequence that he is, for the next 2 days, he is going to be more trusting of you all.
Good.
And so he looks at you all, and he looks at you and he says, "What happened? Did you lose it? The child?"
Yes.
"I'm sorry. It's a terrible thing. My wife also. It was the same for her, but I was here, and I was not able to be home when that happened to her. So I'm sorry."
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. It's not an easy thing to experience, especially on your own.
Indeed. Listen, this is an operation to bring in radios is no small feat. No small feat at all. We need a lot of support from London. We need to be convinced that it is worth it. And there are questions about your loudness as a group. These radios it's highly irregular. You want us to outfit radios to people that we didn't train back in London.
The ones you train in London. They die every 3 months, yes?
Yes.
The ladies that I have trained, they don't fear death. And I've lasted much longer than 3 months.
You have.
And I was not trained by London.
You were not. You know, we have some of the best training in the world. We are a shining light. You must know at this moment, we are the only thing holding back this tide. The Americans are sitting on their thumbs across the Atlantic doing nothing. And when he says that, he looks directly at Tango.
Then let us be glad.
Who looks past him?
Then let us be glad for the Americans that we have.
All right. I must tell you, I got word. Your man has arrived in London with the package. It's doing great work.
Good. Thank you
He's
for
safe.
that information.
Yes, it was a difficult trip for him, I was told, getting through the Pyrenees. Well, I will speak with London,
Thank you.
but you'll have to know what this means for you, for this group. This is not something that'll be so easy.
None of this has been.
No, I don't think you understand. We're going to have to fly someone in. They can't. It'll have to come through air.
A drop.
Well, with radios, we can't drop them. They're too delicate. We're going to have to land. We have to bring One of our Lysanders down in a field somewhere outside of Paris, most likely. You're going to have to meet them and pick up their radios in person.
We can do that.
You'll have to know that bringing in a plane is very dangerous.
Then it sounds to me like we need a distraction.
Well, perhaps. Listen, it'll be at the new moon, which should be, well, if we can do it, if I can convince London, I would say it would be, well, I say, in 2 days.
2 days?
Yes.
Um,
If we can coordinate.
Coordinates, do you have them?
No, you will need to scout it out yourself.
we will scout the area. I will leave the latitude and longitude for you in the library.
No, you'll have to radio it in. To Ophelia. And then, if London approves, there'll be a message on the BBC. And the special messages, the personals. We'll say that Aunt Mabel is a go. If they say that, then you know they're flying out. 2 days.
Thank you, Falstaff. I'll walk you to the door.
You, Puck,
Jawohl.
who are you? How did they recruit you?
I'm an actor.
Oh. Really?
Really.
Well. What is an actor doing here?
We have a stage.
I see. Well,
You believed him, didn't you?
are you lying to me? Puck?
If he told you. And I kind of look at Puck.
I'm going to stand in front of Puck and be like, absolutely an actor. One of the best. And I wouldn't mind rolling deceive in front of Puck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Don't take our Puck!
Mm-hmm.
Yes!
Oh, well then.
So I'm going to look Puck straight in the eye and be like, a good actor at that. And one that can benefit us greatly. And I've known him for a while. I can vouch for him. He plays a mean game of cards.
Oscar would step forward towards Falstaff and extend his hand in a gesture of introduction. Give me your hands if we be friends.
So you know the bard.
Restore romance.
He puts his hand out. He nods. That's a bonus from you over there. And he goes, all right. Actor? Mummy always said that actors are a bit questionable in their morals, a bit loose, a bit...
You should always believe your mummy,
All right. She's a good woman. Well,
I'm sure.
We are all degenerates here, Falstaff.
well, this is true. Well, I will arrange it with London.
Wonderful.
There's one other thing. You should be aware of something. I'm going to share with you some information that I've gathered. They're communist cells. And they're on the move. And they're dangerous. London would not like you to work with them if you can help it. They are, they say the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but they are, well, they're communists, aren't they? So be wary of them. They Well, they were not involved in this fight until their country got invaded. So I don't trust them. I don't trust their motivations. I don't trust their loyalty. I would quite imagine that if things go strangely, they will abandon us and, well, can't be trusted. What? So, what I'm going to say is, don't get yourselves in bed with those Reds.
Do
Questionable.
you happen to know any of these groups?
Hmm?
Names or covers,
Where they function out of.
so we can stay away?
So you can stay away.
I love Oscar so much.
Yeah.
Well, I do. You may not know this about me, but I do more than just courier about. I'm a good eye. I know things, yes. I do know one of their cells, as a matter of fact. One of them, at least. The important one. There is a, look up and down. I feel like if I tell you this information, you're about to go and try to make friends with the Reds.
Falstaff, you tell us a secret, and I'll tell you one.
Oh, well. All right. All right, then. Listen, there happens to be a small tailoring shop. It's on the third arrondissement. It's a small place. It's called Cornflower Blue Tailors. It's a small place, but I know for a fact that it's a laundry as well. They do laundry and tailoring. There's a woman who runs it. Her name, well, they call her a number of things. They call her Mother Courage, is what they call her. It's what she goes by, but that's not her actual name, of course. But again, that's what they call her, Mother Courage. But her name is Nicoline Michaud. Mother Courage. She's in the 60s perhaps. She's not young. And she's got a sort of a group of people who do laundry and washing and whatnot. But I have on a good authority that this whole group, this tailoring shop is where they meet. I think there are about 7 I've seen. I've seen 7 different members of this group. There's her sons. She has three sons. They're all in this cell as well. So that's her 3 sons. One of the sons is married. There's a wife. That's 4, 5. There are 2 more who are not related to her, who are part of this as well. But they're communists. You know, communists are a threat to our way of life.
Stated.
Yes. So.
Falstaff, I know you feel we are loud,
I do.
but it seems that in drawing attention to ourselves, we have positioned ourselves in such a way to alleviate much of the concern.
In what way?
As a man who lives his life undercover, sometimes you have to go double cover.
What does this mean?
What better way to bring down the Nazis and Gestapo in this city than to start a war between them?
Say more.
We are working diligently, loudly, you would call it,
I would.
to position ourselves as a helping hand. And I make helping rather, probably in quotations even, to let him know that I don't actually mean it. We're really good at what we do, Falstaff. And living out loud has allowed us opportunities to be captured, to get information, and to position ourselves so that they trust us. It is a power play, and we are all willing to take it. In fact, the information you've just given up, well, it helps us quite a lot.
Tango, is this true?
It is absolutely true. We're playing one of the most dangerous of games here, Falstaff. You see, they think we're working for them now. And that gives us, well, a unique perspective on their operation. Also gives us a unique way to influence their moves. And he's going to lean in a little closer and be like, Falstaff, if you have any information on a cell that you know for a fact is helping the Germans, but aren't quite loud enough, and one that you want us to, I don't know, put a target on their back, now's the time to tell us.
I need a report from you.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know why I asked like that.
No, he wants to see if you're lying.
It's an average.
Mm-hmm. He wants to see if you're lying.
He's not, though.
No? He looks at you.
Lie.
He didn't lie. He looks at you. Here's the problem. Most of the time,
That's gross.
when they turn someone, they don't turn the entire cell. They turn one or two, maybe one. Just one is all they need. So a place like this, like you all, your group, Bricktops. I would like a bit more Shakespearean name for you all, by the way. Should think about it. People like you, all you need is one weak link. One person be working behind your back. That's all you need. And if it's just one, we give over the entire cell. That's no good. See? Better is to find the leak and to end it.
Well, so far, we don't have a leak. And more
Good.
importantly, we are bold enough. Well, we will deal with the leak if it is a problem. What I'm asking, Falstaff, is for you to recognize that where you think we are too loud, we are playing a game and winning.
I'm recognizing that. You have convinced me a bit. That you will perhaps know more than it first seems.
Efficient. Just say it, Falstaff. We're efficient.
Well, I wouldn't go so far. That's a little bit too much praise.
Do it, and I'll make you some tea on your way out.
You're an American. You can't make tea. Well,
Before
Excuse
we
the
get into
fuck
it-
out of me, biscuit man. What?
Battle of cultures. Let me walk you to the door.
of course. Listen. This thing you're doing.
Captain Crunkett. No, sorry. Captain Crunkett.
This thing you're doing. This is very important. Listen. This thing you're doing, if you're really doing this, it's very dangerous. You put yourself in grave danger.
At risk.
No,
Was that before or after we joined the rebellion?
no. This is much more of a risk. You have to know that this could pay off well, of course, and I respect that you're doing it. But it could endanger you, and well, it's been said by people, not me, of course, but by people, that you have done amazing things, important things. The things you've done have been a great service to the war effort. The SOD.
We've told you. We've done. There's
I
greater things
smile.
than that.
The point is, you've been doing good work, and it's been noticed by others, by people, influential people. People have been saying good things about you back in London, and See? You have someone who appreciates the bard here in this team. Not in a shallow and superficial way, but in a deeper way. I appreciate that. Well, I wouldn't want anything to happen to you all. And I don't like you. And he sort of touches the scar on his face. I find you all, well, you know, uncouth. But I wouldn't want anything to happen to you, so don't get yourself killed. You're too important.
Well, maybe now you'll trust us a little more, Falstaff.
Perhaps a little, but don't push it.
I pushed all your buttons the first time we met. And I just gesture him towards the door.
You knew one. I hope you're prepared.
Sylvie internally am dying.
So do I.
Well, no, if you're not an actor. Well, let's go.
I'll walk him out back.
He tosses over his shoulder. You know, I tread the boards when I was in Oxford. A little bit, just so you know. I've memorized a few monologues myself. Not the only one who could do the bard.
The day you need to torture us, you'll know how.
Well, and he walks out with Regina out the back.
I'm going to go right over to Sylvie and be like, I wanted to punch him straight through his face for you, Sylvie.
I
How are you?
am going to kill that man. That man is going to be killed. I am going to kill him. Would you like to kill him with me? It could be a couple's event. We could kill him together. It could be a date night. We could make some sort of
Oh, we haven't had a date night in so long. Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, no, we could do it. We could make it. You know, how do you want to do it?
A
You
nice
just want to.
candlelit pasta and then a stabbing.
Oh, candlelit pasta and a stabbing. Oh,
We could
that'd be great.
nice, delicious food and then just stab him.
Put on some
Stab him.
music in the background. You know, maybe
we
put on our nice, our nice
Our
outfits.
niceties. It would be, and then we could just take a small balcony and just listen to his bones shatter on the way down.
I'd serve him cold tea first. It'd be great.
Oh, cold tea. In fact, we could just shove tea leaves up his nostril, each nostril. That would be delightful. That would.
Oh, that's where we start. That's where we start shoving it. There's a lot more orifices we can go, but just that's the first, you know.
Great.
Poor Oscar. God. Y'all.
I forgot you was here, Oscar.
Oscar, I'm sorry if you. This is. Sometimes we have date night talks. It's
You could
not a
shove
big
tea
deal.
leaves up his nose too if you'd like.
Yeah, but not on date night, please.
No.
between
That's
us.
you know.
Oscar.
I mean, unless we would have to discuss it between us. That would have to be something we discuss.
Yeah, I mean it's getting late. We can discuss it tomorrow, can't we?
Oh yeah, no, that's a tomorrow discussion.
How much can you lift again, Oscar? Because that's really going to weigh in a lot when we do discuss it.
That's true. That's true. You never answered that.
Is there a place for me to sleep?
Oh, you remember the little room you were in earlier? You'll be sleeping there. Here, there, downstairs in this building. That's where you'll be sleeping.
Also, Oscar, I was making some fake IDs for you as the night was going on. And we got rudely interrupted. What kind of name would you like as your fake name?
Oh, we should have a French one, a very French one.
How's your French, Oscar?
It's awful.
Oh, maybe less French then. How's your
But what is a French actor? They already talk awful, right? So no one would know the difference.
Still be German.
It's still German.
Doesn't have to not be German to be in France.
I guess I can allow that. Do you speak any other languages? Anything at all?
I speak English. I speak obviously.
Right out.
German.
There's only one English. There's only one pretend American here.
God.
Not that I'm.
German,
I'm
I
not
guess.
always territorial. You know that about me, Sylvie. It's just that
No,
this
I
one
know, I
particular
know.
thing
You
is
don't
just what
have
I
to-
want to hold on to.
You don't
Okay.
have to explain it.
How about if you're just a? Do you know how to make like bake bread? Do you know how to maybe lay conch something?
Oh, what about look, what were those? They were brothers who wrote fairy tales. Who were they? They were German, weren't
Brothers
they?
Grimm. Yeah.
Grimm.
Grim.
Name him Grimm. I like that.
I really like
Grim,
it
I
too.
like that. Okay. We will call you
Jack
Grimm,
Grimm.
for now. We'll call you Jack Grimm.
That's
So,
quite
do you want me to
original.
roll, by the way, a trade craft for that?
Yes, please. And actually, yes, and you get a bonus for your forgery.
Boom.
And you get a
That's what
plus
I roll
2,
for trade.
right?
Plus 2, so it's a 5.
That was fantastic.
Mhm.
So that's a good roll.
Yes.
And this was all casual as like the night was going on, and as we were finalizing it, and I just kind of slide him over. By the end of the night, I slide him over his Jack Grimm, German, just author.
How about we could do Jacques Grimm?
Jacques Grimm.
Oh, that's
There we
good.
go.
I like
Jacques
that.
Grimm.
Adds a little bit of a French twist to it.
Yeah, it makes them think.
Jacques Grimm.
Nice. That's
Here
nice.
we go. Jacques Grimm, congratulations. You are a wandering author.
How fun! That's very festive.
And that, by the way, is an aspect with 2 free invokes on it for your papers.
Ooh.
And meanwhile, as you walk out Falstaff, he is an arrogant
Tell me
asshole.
one more person knocks on that damn door, because that is enough. for
I'll take all the
them.
doors
Yes.
off their hinges.
And
Beauty myself,
he's an arrogant jerk, but he listened to you all, and he currently has a consequence, which means that he's building trust with you. And because that's one of the great things about fate, is that you put consequences on people, and they could be things like broken legs, but they could be things like that they are trusting you now. And he's walking you out.
I creak the door open. Gesture politely.
Are you going to apologize?
I'm sorry, for what?
For all of this?
I thought when I stepped in and took a punch for your pretty face, that was apology enough.
Less pretty now than it was.
Actions have consequences.
Yes. Oddly, yours don't seem to have just yet.
Only time will tell.
Guildenstern.
Falstaff.
I don't like you.
Surprise to me.
But, as someone might say, feelings be damned. This is not what this is about. It's about the work.
It's true.
Tango, Rosenkrantz, is trained,
Some would say.
some would say. I have read his records, though. There's some things that are perhaps a bit distressing in them. Not too distressing that I don't think he won't do his job. Although, I worry about his loyalty. Quite a bit.
Why is that?
Oh. He's not here because he wants to be here. He's not here because he's a patriot, because he wants to fight the good fight. He's here because he was arrested. He had a choice. He could go to jail. He could be sent off here. And he decided to be sent off here. I don't think they thought he would make it through training, but he did. And
So, you're telling me a man could have chosen the easy life behind bars, and instead he chose to fight a war that doesn't belong to him? That sounds like a patriot to me.
Guildenstern, this is a man who has betrayed people for money. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I will keep an eye on the American.
Please do. And you must know that me having this conversation with you should take it as a mark of, well,
Confidence?
something like that. You were not trained by us. You are a woman and a German. You are many things that I
are intimidated by?
No, I'm not intimidated by women.
I
However,
just step in a little bit. Does he stutter?
he doesn't.
Is he just does he okay.
Unless you would like to make a provoke.
No, I'm not trying to provoke him. I wanted to
Just-
see if I could just catch him off guard
Yeah.
a little bit.
Listen, out of all these people in this room, I don't know your Puck, the actor. You're the one with the most experience. And I can recognize that. You're the one who will most likely, well, listen. I've heard things through the grapevine that you did the job, the assassination that was asked of you. You did it expertly. That led to everything else that happened. I also heard from someone that that person you executed was your own father. That's serious business.
You hear a lot.
I do. It is my job, after all. And I've been interested in your cell. Been interested in you all. Well, up to this point, I didn't trust you.
Was that before or after I put a bullet in my father's skull?
Oh. After you did, that says to me something. It says you seem committed to this cause.
Well, I'm glad that I could prove myself to you, Falstaff. I wasn't getting sleep at night.
Well, I want you to know that I'm just trying to tell you that you have done. That I believe that you're an asset, and I don't distrust you as much as I did. I'm trying to give you a compliment. By Jove, woman. Take
Considering
it.
the fact that you're an Englishman, you think you could get to the point a lot quicker.
Well, it's...
Or simply say, I'd like to compliment you on
Well-
a job well done.
Well... I'm just giving you a compliment, and I'm just letting you know that I recognize your expertise and keep these people in line.
Then let me say this. I'm sorry that I smashed a bottle against your face. Not because of why. But I am sorry that I took frustration, say, from putting a bullet through my father's head out on you.
That's fair. Well, we're in accord.
Now, if we are done, I look forward to my new radios. Maybe we can show England a thing or two how it's done.
Perhaps. Remember, get the coordinates. Send them out. So that we can scout a good location. You know, I'd say you might want to send Tango out on that mission. To scout out the location for the airfield.
Are you so interested now? You're telling us how to run our cell.
I'm not telling you how to run your cell, I'm just giving you some advice. Which you can take or leave.
Just what I need.
Yeah.
The last time I took advice from a man, he told me to wear a dress and smile. And I look like deadpan bitch face, and I'm in pants.
Well, you
Trust
know,
me, advice from men has never gotten me anywhere.
And he stops. Like, he is rolling his eyes and sort of being ridiculous, but then he stops for a moment. He gives you a look. He goes, Now I see then. Well, you might want to take my advice anyway on this one.
I'll consider it. Comrade to comrade.
Well. I suppose I should, It's interesting.
Should leave? Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Adieu, Falstaff. I should go ice my face.
Oh, yes. I by the way, Ophelia sends her regards. And he walks away with a bit of a smirk, as if he just figured something out.
We'll slay his skin from his body and fry him up and feed him to the dogs. I go back upstairs. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. I pour a drink as soon as I burst through.
Immediately, as soon as she gets back in, Sylvie goes over. Listen, it's later in the evening. We've had a lot of late night visitors at this point. I don't know what is happening, But
Only two.
Sylvie may have had a couple of drinks at this point. She goes over to Regina. Regina.
Yes.
How long do we need Falstaff?
He needs to stay around long enough where I can use him as a fall man.
How long is that, though?
Long enough. He is our last-ditch effort, a way to keep our cover.
Regina, believe me when I say this, and I know that you will appreciate this from me, but Regina.
Yes,
Regina.
Sylvie. Yes, Sylvie.
I want to kill him.
Oh.
Like not just play kill him, but actual kill him. I want to stab him with a knife.
Then use this time of patience to begin writing down all the many ways that you would kill him.
Oh, good. I like that idea. That's good.
Rather therapeutic.
And that's when you hear the screaming.
Screaming? Downstairs?
Yeah.
Where? Downstairs?
Oh, God.
Sophie's going down.
It is blood-curdling screams, loud.
No.
Blood.
Is it Hannah?
No.
Is it Jeannette?
Yeah.
Sylvie's going downstairs very quickly in a running fashion.
Oscar as well.
And when you get into the secret room, you see Hannah trying to hold Jeannette down. She can do so because Jeannette does not have a lot of strength in her. But Jeannette is wild-eyed and freaking out. She seems to be having some kind of...
What's happening?
She just... And Jeanette's screaming, and she's screaming, and it's loud, and you don't know if people in the neighborhood might hear this.
Oh God! Regina goes to her bag. I carry three poisons on me: arsenic and chloroform, and I take a little chloroform, and I just.
Oscar tries to get like
You want to try to get him? Okay.
Get behind her real quick. He does not like grab her or like squeeze, like hug her, but he tries to just like as they kind of got together whenever they were getting out of the place and he was getting her out, and he tries to just kind of cradle her for a second and just slowly rocks and hums and to see if it has any effect, to see if it can,
rapport, empathy.
Proximity. Shit, I really needed to not just kill stuff.
Trooper.
Damn!
You can
Welcome
swap
to
things out.
Regina's party.
Yeah. As Oscar's doing this, Trooper, by the way, I'd like for Tango to slip out the back door.
Yeah.
Yowie, and do a stealth in order to see if maybe her screams are causing any attention that may be coming towards Bricktops.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to need stealth and awareness from you.
Let's see. Is there any chance that I can roll a perform here to just mimic what we had done before?
Give it to me. It'll be a little bit more difficult, but give it to me.
Okay, it's better than. It's great.
Sylvie, Hannah, and Regina. He starts sort of humming and singing, but there's something about the way he does it that is clearly staged. There's something about he resonates through his mask, right? Like you can tell that he has had stage training, right? He knows how to project. There's something very professional about it. And it's really good. Like it's not like full of like all the feeling. Like it's not happening through a sense of like, I don't know, like deep human connection in that way, but knowing how to do a show. And he does. And she quietly begins to calm down a little bit. And you're going to get a boost on her, Oscar. And this boost is going to be called the Jeannette Whisperer. And she starts calming down to a small whimper. And sort of collapses again. And Hannah looks at you all and says, She cannot stay here any longer. And Tango, when you're outside, you hear her scream. You hear her screams of panic, and then they die down. It's not super loud, and at this point in time, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and there's nobody really about, so there's no one to hear it. But if this happened in the day, if this happened when there were customers in the bar, they would hear.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to still be in the alley for a bit longer. I'm going to smoke a cigarette, but be in the shadows with my great stealth, but terrible awareness.
And Hannah just says she can't stay here.
You can stay with us.
No. Mr. Miller, would you listen? Could you drive her out?
Yeah.
Where?
But he would stay. He's still with her. He's still rocking her. He's still like connected to her, basically.
I know I have friends in a small farmhouse. It's not far from. It's actually quite far from here, but it's in the countryside, and she could at least stay there. Perhaps you could drive her out and return.
Oscar looks right at her. I don't have to tell you that you will be putting these friends in danger.
And she just sort of curls up in your arms, seeming so small.
We do have to scout a location. We could kill 2 birds with a single stone, Oscar. You could take Tango with you. If you both dress in uniform, you should be able to get out of the city and back in.
Hannah says,
This is right.
I just... Listen, I think it would be safer if there was just this man. I'm worried about her fits.
I can do this. I can take her the whole way.
Would you do something else for me then?
Yeah.
I have some things that I would like you to take with you to give them to my grandmother.
Yeah.
They're probably not safe here. But she will keep Jeannette safe. Come. And she's planning on packing some things to and give you directions and what to say to her grandmother who lives in the countryside.
So just for my knowledge, Trooper, it's probably not the same direction as where I'm just trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, but if we can, okay, got it.
So that you can take her.
Yeah, Oscar would kind of look over and just write it all down. And then as he would rock that brittle hair of Jeannette, he would take it and kind of just rub it and put it behind her ear as he's rocking. And he would just say, I know a bank where the wild thyme blows, where oak slips and nodding violet grows, quite over canopied with luscious woodbine, with musk roses and with eglantine. There sleeps Jeannette sometime in the night, lulled in his dreams with dances and delights. And he would just shake and rock her as he did so, just with the beat, the bard's rhythm, just like a heartbeat.
And Tango's out there in the alley, smoking a cigarette, as it is all quiet. And the three, Hannah and Sylvie and Regina are there in the basement, in the secret room, listening to the heartbeat of the iambic pentameter as Jeannette whimpers. And that is where we'll end our show for tonight. Everyone. So, let me bring us to our RP screen there, because I had us in our other screen. So, next week, we have a solo episode with Tango by himself. We'll see what he is up to out there.
Just a stroll.
Just a stroll.
Just going out for a stroll.
There's going to be some... I should... No, let me do it this way. Can I have 30 more seconds?
Yes.
I don't think we're going anywhere, sir.
Yeah, I think you got us.
You're out in the alley. Yeah?
Yeah.
Stealthy. Quiet. Smoking a cigarette?
In the shadow. The only thing you will see is the ember from the cigarette every so often.
And as you're out in the alley and it's quiet, and all the screaming has finished, and there's no one about, your awareness was not good.
No.
Let me just roll. Let me just roll a thing if you don't mind. You roll that. Mm-hmm.
Just do it.
So, as you are there in the quiet, you hear a voice very close to your ear. And the voice says, Tango, it's good to see you again.
Oh, God.
It's very good to see you. It's your old friend, Sigmund. I think you should take a walk with me.
You think I should take a walk with you?
I have something you might be interested
man.
in. Oh, I know, but I've been looking all over for you. There's something you might find very interesting indeed.
I'm the kind of man that can be found when he wants to be found. If you hadn't seen me, there might be a reason for it, Sigmund.
Come. Don't you like excitement?
No, I hate it.
Oh,
I hate excitement. I only like 2 or 3 things. That's dancing. I like dancing. I like sandwiches and maybe some coffee every now and then. That's about 3 things I like. Yeah.
But you also like smuggled goods, do you not?
There's like a old school itch that comes over Tango. Yeah, I guess some old habits die hard, my friend.
Yes.
Let's take this walk.
It's a small opportunity for you. Especially since you are connected to a nightclub. I have something very exciting for you. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's walk.
Okay. Walk with him.
And he takes you off into the night. That's where we end it. So, next week is Tango's solo episode. We're going to find out what is happening there. Maybe he'll be able to, scout out a location for a drop. Maybe things with his best friend Sigmund Shore, a terrible black marketer with very few morals, will be awesome. It will be great. And the week after is going to be Sylvie, Regina, and 2 guests, because our Oscar will be driving Jeannette out to the countryside and will not be available. And Tango will probably be a little bit busy with, some things. And that is where we're going to leave it. So I want us to say thank you, first of all, to you in the audience for being here. I am so excited for you giving us love and watching the show. And I want to thank you for being with us here. And that said, I would like us all to, no donation for the second half, so no reading outs. But I'd like us all to introduce give us our exit patter, who you are, where we can find you, and give us one thing. Oh, yes. Sorry, Scabbynack, thank you. We also do need a title for this episode. If you all would like to ponder our title for the episode. We have Scabbynack said hard-earned trust as a possibility. So...
It was definitely hard-earned.
Uh-huh.
I don't even know if it's entirely earned yet.
And we are currently 1/3 of the way to our radios. And you have until episode 4 to get those radios in. Because, because there might be radios in episode 4. There might be things. There might be an airplane. So if you could introduce yourself, where we can find you, and give love to one other player today. Give us something that you really appreciated from somebody else. And I would like to go backwards with Rocket Fox.
Backwards, that's me. Hello, everyone. I am Rocket Fox. You can find me anywhere that Rocket Foxes are sold. I'm on Twitch, Instagram, all around downtown. But yeah, I do art, storytelling, game stuff, things, witchy looks, things like that. But yeah, favorite moment. That is hard. I feel like season 2 already, only 2 episodes in, has been chock full of hard-hitting moments that have just been amazing. I feel so one of my favorite moments was, and this may be coming from Team Chaos, but one of my favorite things was the fact that we had to spend, well, and by we, I mean Regina, sorry about that, had to spend a fate point as we fought amongst ourselves to, as Tango was going to punch Falstaff and Regina was going to stop him, but then Sylvie was going to help Tango to punch, and it just kind of really all fed into that, and the fate point was spent because of our own shenanigans. I feel like that really sums up a lot of our experience with each other. but that being said, like we come together at the end of the day too. And I feel like the rest of that encounter really encapsulated that. And a lot of the rest of those moments in that mental, emotional conflict between how everybody handled that, how Regina came together, how Tango came back, and how Oscar dealt with that too. Just how everybody was dealing with Falstaff in their own kind of character ways and trying to make amends, make friends, even after we kind of were all over the place. I feel like that so well encapsulates how our group works. Is that it's a lot of shenanigans, but when the cards are down, we really come together. So
Little Red Dot.
Hang on.
Oh,
I'm typing out ideas. Okay. I needed to not lose it. Hey gang, I am Little Red Dot. You can find me online as Little Red Dot. I roll dice and I tell stories with really awesome people just like this crew all over the place, including my channel. I've got a bunch of new stuff coming up. And I have delved into the world of podcasting deeper and deeper. Yes. So I've got a brand new podcast out with an incredible group of folks called Stitch of Fate. Releases every Friday. You should check it out, especially if you like dark mysteries, like murder mysteries and vampires. Little Vampire Gang I'm a part of, which is really neat. Mark Meir joins us at the table for that one.
Who's amazing.
Who's incredible, along with Mathis Games and the Bubbernaut and Gaming FTL. So
and isn't it doing exceptionally well right now as well?
We just broke 35,000 downloads in our first 4 weeks. Or like 35. Yeah, I just did the math yesterday and kind of had a little tear over it. So it's very exciting. It's doing really great. We've got some new things coming down the pipeline for that. It's kind of my pride and joy right now. And then everything that's coming up on my channel. So I've got like I said, a bunch of new things, including a once a month Monday night set that I'm going to be doing in partnership with my podcast North by Northwest called the Novella Sets, which will be one shots. I've got, and thanks to a large grant by Fulton County, my channel will be funding 2 very large scale mini campaigns that are going to have a lot of a lot of stuff and moving parts. So all
That's
of that's coming down
amazing.
yeah, it's coming down the pipeline. So the dot lot is officially funded by the Fulton County Arts Council.
That's amazing. That is so cool.
Yeah, that's very exciting. It means that the channel will have more money to pay cast and actors and to support indie game designers a lot more. And it means your girls hustling just different kind of hustle now. So all of you can kind of show up and support where you can, but it's not necessary for me to continue supporting this incredible community of tabletop players. So,
and give some love to a fellow cast member.
yes, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, I'm loving Oscar more and more, only because he's very quiet. Like Regina's quiet. Like we take everything in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a German thing. Like everything in, and then we make a decision. And that completely organic and kind of beautiful moment where Falstaff's like, "Who are you?" And we hadn't brought Oscar into the fold yet about all the Shakespeare biz, but the last thing Regina saw him in was a Shakespeare play.
Yeah.
It was just this really beautiful moment. And to watch both Greg from a player perspective and Oscar as a character just weave so seamlessly and like it and flow. It was like that moment I was like, well, he can't go anywhere now because you're our puck. Like it was just great. And Regina felt like he had her back in that moment. There was just a lot of things there in that moment that really solidified, I think, Oscar with the group, but also like impressed. And I just thought it was a really organically beautiful moment, and those things are very hard to come by sometimes at a table. So
let's go to the holiest of stivers.
Oh, you don't mean that.
I do
no,
mean
you
that.
do. It's okay.
I do. I feel like none of the other stivers are as holy as you are.
I'm the only holy stiver I know. So yeah, I am James Stiver. You can find me all things social media at Holy Stiver. I do a lot of podcasting, mostly. That's what I do. I've been a part of about 3 or 4 podcasts at this point. I know Little Red Dot through podcasting. So anyways, let's see. I think one of my favorite moments was actually Sylvie and Tango discussing a date night, because we hadn't actually had them discuss any outward date nights or anything like that. But it was just this casual, like, we could do pour some wine, do like dress up really nice and kill a motherfucker. And I think that just
I love that too. I do have to say.
I think that was
in the wake of such aggression. Like it was the both of you just like venting, and that venting was like, we should just have a date. It was so beautiful. It was just so well done.
You know what we need to do? Dress in something nice, do something great with each other,
and stab that guy
and stab assholes. That's what we need to do.
Because I feel like y'all have not had a conversation about your like I feel like you've not had the the DTR.
Yeah.
Define the relationship talk. I feel like you just haven't. I feel like there's a bunch of
we haven't. I think that we're probably
staying in my place. What talk is there to have?
Yeah, we don't need to talk about it, right?
Yeah,
and I think a relationship therapist would probably say, "Oh, you guys are fucked," but we don't need to talk about it. There's blinders on. There's.
It's fine. It'll work itself out.
What are you guys? Like seeing only each other? Like, I don't know about that, but who knows?
It'll work itself out. It's fine.
It's fine. It's okay. Yeah, there'll definitely be no heartache with that one. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Greg.
That was mine too. It was from a different perspective, and here's what it was. I knew I was still in that scene, and you all were going back and forth with these bullet points, like, we should kill somebody. I think we should kill him too. We can get you with knives. We can get all dressed up. Let's have a date. Let's do a date. And then it just shifted. And so as Oscar, I didn't know what to do other than just look back and forth. And how the hell is this? What's going on? But my favorite part of the whole thing was that, almost like from the movie Tombstone, I felt like Johnny Tyler when Doc Holliday goes, "Oh, Johnny, I forgot you were there." You may go.
Now you know why they're called Team Chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
that's
and
fair.
we're like, oh, I mean, you can come too, but not on date night.
You can be there for
And
the
then there's
killing
another
part.
rapid fire questions. There was
Yeah.
like, how much can you lift? That'll happen on date night. You know, like, whoa.
Are you getting me a threesome with us? You're like, I don't even, what's happening?
Right. So absolutely crazy. I enjoy myself. I'm actually very down that I don't get to be Oscar for a couple sessions because I've been enjoying this so much. I've been when I've been doing my work, I've been listening to like autobiographies from the French Revolution, French Resistance.
Amazing.
And I've been just like living in this
Yeah.
world for a bit. But my name's Greg. You can find me GMing on Unmade Gaming Tuesday nights for Atari Twilight, which is a Tales from the Loop show. And then
So good.
and then over on Laugh Love Lindy, 8 p.m.s on Wednesday for our Witcher Family of Race. And then I play a character on Laugh Love Lindy on Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern with Trooper, and we have a lot of fun. And so everybody, please follow all these lovely people. They are talented AF, and I'm so happy to be just sitting here watching the date night talk. That was the best.
And I'm troopersjp, and you can find me here running this show, running more like being here while they're amazing, and you can see me on Wednesday nights, Laugh Love Lindy at the Witcher game. Not yet, but real soon. My guess is 2 more episodes. That's my guess. I think it'll take them 2 episodes to save me from Carbonite. We'll see. It's my current guess. And then also Fridays 1 p.m. We'll see. Like I'm taking bets. Fridays 1 p.m. also at Laugh Love Lindy, where I'm playing with Greg as well. So I'm gonna tell you like one small thing that I loved. This is a thing that I loved about the session, and this is a mechanical thing. I loved that you won this combat, right? The social combat. But the way that Fate works is that when you quote unquote damage people, right? That's not the best word to use, but let's use that. You give them consequences that linger. And the lingering consequence that came out of this big debate with Falstaff was that he now respects you more, right? And that's a kind of a thing that you don't get in a lot of other systems, where you are able to like, oh, I got into a fight and I died. But actually, no, in this one, you got into a conflict. And what this means is at the end of that conflict, through all of the work that all of you did together, he now respects you more. And that is going to be, right, that is the consequence, right, of that moment. And I love that mechanically this system can do that, right? That the system can mean that actually, no, I now this idea of be damned your feelings is an aspect on him that will linger for a bit longer. Now he respects you, and there are these things that the ways in which you can have the ways in which you can have conflicts sort of play out in really interesting long-term ways, and I love that. That's very exciting. A lot. I love that conversation between Tango and Regina. I love that conversation between Tango and Regina. And, Tango is such the heart of this group in his own way. Just these little moments of like holding on to Sylvie's hand to give her that support in that moment. The moment, like the sort of the ways in which Regina is not dealing with guilt, right? In those moments.
So much guilt.
And how does she deal with that? The ways in which Tango's characterization, because Tango is a feminist. His mother was a suffragette. And like how that was a thing that, like, that's the thing about Tango. As a GM, I'm going to tell you, audience, if I want to get Tango, he will stand up for his friends. Like, he will stand up for his friends, and that is every time. He will take things. If people like mess with him, he'll take it. But people mess with his friends, he will not take that. And it was this great characterization. I loved how Sylvie was turned a conversation that could have not been a conflict into a conflict, because that is what her character would do. She was like, no, none of this, not in my bar. And I loved it.
Sorry about that, guys.
No, but it was brilliant. And I love the relationship between Jeannette and Oscar, and the ways in which they're both a little broken together. And it looks like he is sort of
They're both kind of lost and broken together. You know, not just broken, but lost, in my opinion, too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and Sylvie did take a moderate consequence. Is that and I'm gonna get a good framing for it. Something like basically I want something that will sort of like invoke that you're actually on edge, like you're like frayed temper, right? Like a you know, like that you're a little bit more
Fraying around the edges.
Yeah, fraying around the edges. You're a little bit easier to provoke at this moment, right? You're a little raw nerve. Oh, that's a good one. Raw nerve.
Yeah, raw nerve. There you go.
That's the name. That's the name of that consequence. Raw nerve. Thank you, Pope. That's the one. Perfect. And so, they've got some stress. There's some consequences on the table. They have got a very dangerous mission coming up, which is to receive some agents coming in on a plane on the new moon. And Tango's going to do some time right by himself. Some radio. There's a lot going on. And audience and also players, I'm going to ask you a question that's important. Players, don't watch Tango's solo episode till the season ends. Just
I can't.
Okay.
yeah, don't watch it. Don't watch it. Audience,
Okay.
don't give them
tell
spoilers.
us.
Like, just, you know, don't give the rest of the cast spoilers. They don't need to know what happens next week. That's all.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, he can share if he wants to, but you know, that's it. So we're gonna go. Take care. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I appreciate this cast. I love the chemistry. Best chemistry. And our title, by the way, is going to be Too Many Visitors, because I kind of think that's adorable. And
By the way, if you all see Jacques Grimm in chat next week, don't tell Trooper.
like, what is Jacques Grimm doing in chat? So take care, everyone. We will see you next week, or anywhere else around on the internet.
Vive la résistance.
Vive la resistance!
Yeah, vive la resistance, y'all.
Vive la resistance.
Go to Waffle House. Woo!